Welcome, everybody, to the Dave Knows Wrestling live stream. I am your host, David Lee, and with me, as always,
I'm Albert Albanese.
I shouldn't say as always, because you're not on the Friday stream, so I guess...
Well, as always, as it pertains to a Monday.
Right.
So that's a lot more of a mouthful.
Yeah, there you go. You get my point.
They get your point, too. They know when I'm on.
All right, so welcome to the show. Hope everybody's having a grand old time.
I missed you guys. I feel like, I don't know why. I mean, I was here last week, and I feel like it's been a while. I don't know.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm sure you had a lot of things to do this week, and people finally filing in.
Yeah, we're starting to get some people in here.
Yeah, or there was.
There was.
Okay. What's going on today? Where's the notifications?
I, honestly...
Didn't get one.
Didn't get one?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
What's happening?
I don't know.
All right. Well, since it's just me and you temporarily, let's get this out the way. So, somebody saw last Wednesday's episode, I see.
Yeah, Dave, I did see last Wednesday's episode. And,
did you now?
And
what you think?
I think, as always, you were completely off base and completely wrong. But, I mean, that's just, one man's opinion, right?
Well, it takes a brave man to argue against facts and logic. So, I guess I applaud you for that.
Zero facts and zero logic behind anything you said, to be completely
Did you
honest.
watch it, or did you just dismiss it?
No, of course I watched it.
All right.
I wanted to hear the absolute BS that was going to spew out of your mouth the entire time so I can roast you on it. Yeah, of course.
Speaking of which, Smart Killer, what's going on? Jonathan Wong, what's up? True Sinister.
I have a feeling
no
that
donation today. Hey, it's okay, buddy, but I appreciate the thought.
I have a feeling me and Smart Killer are going to get along well.
Why? Because he's going to reveal that you are a Smart. Paul
that's
Wade,
the exact opposite.
Terrell. Hey, Dave, and Guy, always wrong. Speaking of which, what's up, Ron Hawthorne? No, Ron Hawthorne, sharp guy. Harry Flynn, my man. Hey, yo, what's up, Vinny Montaigne? Dakari,
Hey, Vinny.
Garmin, Super Ermac. Hey, yo.
What's going on, Super Ermac? How are you?
Ben
True
Espinosa.
Sinister, you're working the Oscars this week. That's fantastic, dude.
Congratulations. Didn't know you were out in La La Land, but that is awesome. Good for you, man. Hey, Dave, Baron Corbin blocked you on Twitter because I told him that his current storyline with Roman Reigns is just an awful storyline. Yeah, well, worse things have happened. Believe me, he doesn't deserve you following him on Twitter.
I even said that this is going on for too long.
Yeah, even him. But congratulations, you sister. That is awesome you were working the big show. Cool.
Albert looks like he drives a windowless van. I don't know how that...
It's not a compliment, so it looks like you two aren't getting along.
I obviously... Well, he already told me that I was already wrong, so I know he's completely BSing and has no idea what he's talking about. But, I mean, that's just me.
Smarkula says, I've been here before. My term of smart is totally different from the average anti-smart. Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. Mine differentiates, too, so...
Samurai Productions TM. Hello, Dave, and hello, friend. I'm new here. Well, welcome. Glad to see you here, Samurai Productions.
Yes, it's always great to see new faces in here. Hopefully you enjoy... our stream this week.
One of us, at least.
Yeah, me, obviously.
If you enjoy both of us, well, I think you'd be the first.
That's not true. I think that everybody enjoys the dynamic that me and you do differentiate on things. We get to argue and we get to debate different things where, that people actually like to see.
Albert.
AJ Envoy, what's up, buddy?
And no, Albert does not drive a windowless van, by the way.
I don't.
I got your back, buddy.
My truck has
on the
truck has windows.
Arrow season finale, series finale. Didn't watch it, but you can ask Albert.
Well, Vinny and I have had this conversation before. Vinny knows I'm actually like a half a season behind on right now.
I'm like really thirsty.
Yeah, dude. We're gonna be getting. We're gonna be taking a bunch of water breaks this time.
Okay.
Question: do you like the look of older Edge or younger Edge? I mean, obviously younger Edge. He was in. But I think newer Edge is in better shape, which is crazy. But yeah, I got the EC3 and Lashley Elites today. Great Elites, Harry Flynn. I have them both. They're great. They're going to look great on display once I build mine. I saw your video on Slam Sessions Network, ripping the net, and I enjoyed it a lot. AJ Envoy, that's because you are a smart man. And yes, I only do speak the truth. I appreciate that. I appreciate your support, AJ Envoy. That was that view is getting a little bit low on views right now. So if anybody wants to go and watch it, I'd appreciate that. It's a little on the long side, so I totally understand if you guys don't watch the full thing. I get it. You can pick and choose, but I'm gonna try to do a lot more of those videos and make them a little bit shorter to make them a little bit more interactive.
And hey, Arthur, homie, you shouldn't call Albert a jerk. That's mean.
Nah, me and Arthur are cool.
That's clearly what he meant.
No, he meant you. I know you're not used to actually people saying negative things about you. It's usually only me.
Well, it's okay when it comes from Dum Dum. Who wouldn't like Albert? Albert is the man. Ah, see?
Thank you, Vinny Montaigne. I really appreciate that.
Everyone, I got a Taker and Austin Jax. Cool. Classic.
That's awesome. I love the old Jax figures are some
Young
of the
Terry
best.
Funk or old Terry Funk? There was a young Terry Funk. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I don't remember
No,
ever being young.
with the big curly hair and everything like that, the 70s Funk. I mean, I like, no pun intended, I definitely like the older Funk.
I like ECW Terry Funk.
Which is still the older Funk.
Yeah, it's always almost everything. Did you guys see the small teaser for Falcon, Winter Soldier, and WandaVision? Yes, I did during the Super Bowl, and it looks awesome. Yeah. Falcon and WandaVision looks like it's going in a completely different place than I thought it was going to go. It looks interesting.
Didn't see the trailer.
Oh, you got to take a look.
Am I ready for Lana and Liv round 2?
What round 2 in what sense? Because we know they're
in a wrestling capacity. No, in terms of
the storyline of what they were doing. Yeah, no, I'm totally okay for round 2. Can we get a view on that?
I hate you, Arthur. You're terrible. Who has a better look, Dave or Albert? Well,
Dave's got a lot more hair than I do, but I have a better beard. That's because you don't have one.
That's true. Yeah. We switch.
yeah, exactly.
AJ on was just messing with him. Dave, how's your weekend been? What's that?
Harry Flynn. Right underneath it.
Oh, right underneath. What did Okada do at MSG? Well, he won the IWGP Heavyweight Championship for the first time ever outside of Japan. And, oh, wait, I was there live for that. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that before.
Is there any thoughts of you scaling WWE products? I'd be happy to see where you rank SmackDown, Raw, and NXT. NXT, SmackDown, Raw. I mean, it's the exact opposite of the way you put it.
NXT is up there. Raw or SmackDown. I really don't watch either, but from what I hear,
my only gripe
I'm not sure I put SmackDown above it.
Defends Vince Russo. I defend the good Vince Russo. I don't defend the bad Vince Russo.
You mean like you just know some guy who happens to be named Vince Russo, and that's the one you're doing?
Jesus. I got one of the classic 3000 Blue Unforgiven 2006 Edge Jax figures. That is awesome. I love that figure. I actually don't have it, and I plan on buying it sooner or later.
Super Ermac had to shave his beard.
I'm sorry, Super Ermac. That would suck because I already have no hair.
Maybe he works for the Yankees.
Could be. Dave and Albert, I saw a video by a fellow YouTuber who believes Raw is better than NXT right now, and I can't really disagree with him, but a lot of people are defending NXT to the end.
That is definitely...
I don't think that Raw is better than NXT. I think that, look, I like Raw, but it's still a chore to get through 3 hours of it. I think NXT has, for me, NXT has lost a little bit of its luster moving to 2 hours.
It has.
And it's a little bit more to get through, but I still think that it's better.
Yeah, look, I'll put it this way. I've been saying it that so far in the past couple of months, or at least in 2020, wrestling has been lower for me as a whole, overall, than I would like to be. I feel like wrestling, just in general, company wide, NWA Power is not as good as when it first started. I don't think. NXT is not as good as it used to be. AEW is not as good as it used to be when it first started. A lot of these companies have been taking a down hit.
Dave and I had a conversation after...
and I didn't realize this, but I feel like that light is in the worst possible spot.
It might be. Dave and I had a conversation actually after we wrapped the live stream last week on how we feel like AEW is maybe not exactly where we would want it to be at this point. And AJ Envoy, if you feel that that NXT is overhyped, I can get behind that. And Super Mike, I feel so bad for you having to get rid of your hair and your beard because that would be horrible. And yes, it does feel cold. I shave my head. I'm cold all the time now. But and I get the idea of you thinking maybe NXT is a little overhyped but it's not overhyped by WWE. It's overhyped by internet wrestling fans, and that's the kind of product they want. They want NXT. They want AEW. They want New Japan. But what's weird is that they don't want any of those aspects on Raw or SmackDown. Like they'll say NXT and New Japan and AEW don't really need storylines. They have such great wrestlers. It's cool. But then on Raw and SmackDown, like, oh, all the storylines suck. So you kind of have to be a little consistent for all.
Sup, base up. My thing about it is when it comes to things being overhyped or the dreaded overrated word or whatever, remember that a lot of it is in your small circles. What is being overly perceived for you or being rated very high or hyped very high for you goes into where you are. For example, I mean, I think you guys know how Facebook and social media work. Is what you click on, and media in general, what you click on is what you get more of, okay? So if you click on things that tend to inflame you, you're going to get more of it. They're not trying to make you mad on purpose. They're just giving you things that you keep clicking on.
Perfect example of that is Lana and Lashley and the wedding scenario.
Right.
Everybody talked about how, oh my God, this is horrible. Why does this keep happening? It keeps happening because it's getting 1 million views over on YouTube every week. It's happening because, oh, wait, hold on. It's the highest rated segment on Raw in 3 months. If you keep tuning in and watching this stuff, they're going to say, oh, well, this is what's getting us ratings. We're going to keep doing it.
And what's up, Base Up? And no, I'm still recovering from Friday.
How was that, actually?
It was terrible. And
sorry.
He says, Base Up says...
Oh, thank you, Base Up. Base Up actually was the first person to actually see the video go up, and I guess we both live in the same area because it was near 3 a.m., which is when I posted the damn thing, and he said he was going to stay up and watch the whole thing, and I really appreciate that, Base Up. That meant a lot to me.
Now, I'll just say so, but when it comes to that...
Real quick, before we get there, what are the 3 matches you made you watch last week?
We'll get into that.
All right, I really want to know.
So, when it comes to... things being social media clicks on, and it's the same thing with the media in general. It operates on this. Now we talked about this a little bit on Friday, where I asked, because this is how the system works, is it media corrupting us and giving us things we don't want, or is it us, the audience, corrupting media because they keep giving us what we keep clicking on? But anyway, so if you're upset because you keep getting something hyped down you or you're sick by it, well, then the answer to that is just stop responding to it. Stop, avoid it. Go on the other side of things. Right. Because if we look at the whole, is it overhyped? Well, in what way? It's advertising. They don't give NXT a lot of advertising.
They don't. They really don't.
And ratings-wise, they're not doing very good.
They're losing to AEW almost every week.
So, yeah, I mean, they're not really pulling in. I mean, you could say that that's why you feel they're overhyped, but the amount of advertising versus the amount of ratings they're getting kind of parallels. It's very low-grounded. So... it's really just how it's exposed to you. And if you're getting tired of it, the best way to do it is just to click on other stuff.
Right, and that's the thing. That's why I hate the notion of, I hate the WWE. They shove so-and-so down my throat. They wouldn't be shoving you down. They wouldn't be shoving it down your throat if you weren't watching whenever that person came on. So speak with your remotes. I've always said for years, and I've said on the stream how many times, if you don't like the product, don't watch the product, and it's fine. If you don't want to watch it, that makes more of a statement than you watching it and talking about it online.
And I'm very curious to know what they're going to do with this, because I'm pretty sure this means the Edge comeback if they give it more of a chance and see how things change. But as of right now, the Edge comeback is kind of going to be a minuscule deal right now, judging from last week, because everything from last week is, as I talked about on Friday. Everything about the Edge comeback right now is proving that this is not going to work out the way people expect it to.
As far as
lowest rated segment of Raw last week
was the Edge thing?
The Edge and the Randy Orton thing. I wouldn't say maybe it's not the lowest rated, but it was in the lowest time period for sure. There might have been other segments lower, but it was extremely low. The episode itself wasn't as high as a normal post-Rumble show. It went up slightly from the week before.
Yeah, I know,
but not by much.
Up. Yeah,
but not by much. And that hour, the last hour with Edge in, very low.
I mean, but that's also
doesn't matter for a show that heavily hyped Edge's return, because there were people saying that Edge is a bigger star than Daniel Bryan. Funny thing is, if you look at Daniel Bryan's comeback episode of SmackDown, and it's the SmackDown, the notoriously lower-rated show, I mean, not anymore, but at the time it was, Daniel Bryan's comeback episode and segment, higher rated than the rated R Superstar return. So while your instinct may be to say Edge is the bigger star, the numbers show otherwise.
Right.
And the other thing I need to point
out...
But
remember, we're only going on a barometer of 1 week.
But if they do the angle right, they can't have Edge on TV this week.
No, they can't. Absolutely not. Edge has got to be off TV for at least a month.
Right. But the other counter to that is, or the other factor that we got to take into it is, Edge has been retired for years.
Yeah, and a lot of those fans don't watch anymore.
And not only that, there are 12-year-old kids who have no idea who Edge is.
That's another good point, too.
It's like, why should they care? If you're 9, you have no idea who Edge is.
And remember, this isn't like, it's a little bit of a different story that with Daniel Bryan coming back, there was a 2 to 3 year gap there. Right. So a lot of those fans are still there. With Edge, it's a 9-year gap. There's a lot of people that fell off from the time that Edge was, a main eventer to right now.
Yeah. If you're like 9, you weren't even like cognate. You couldn't even digest food on your own, solid foods on your own when he retired. And if you're 13, you still don't really know who he is,
Right.
And remember, that's a chunk of WWE's fan base. Harry Flynn, what bet would you like to challenge to? Well, you love Edge, okay? I mean,
and here's the thing,
but it has nothing to do with it. It's just talking about the numbers.
And the other thing, Harry
trying
Flynn,
to hurt Orton.
See, I don't think that's the case. I think that what they should have done is what they should do this week is that they should let Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins go after Orton and let Orton just beat the crap out of both of them You know, hey, that was our mentor. You know, we should try to defend him. Really make Orton look like
that requires
healed
them
up.
putting those two on screen, and they don't want to do.
They are on our main event. Somebody sent me a picture.
Of course they are.
They're facing Gallows and Anderson.
Of course. You know, for all you know, they've been replaying the same episode of Main Event for the past 10 years, and no one will know any different.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah, so I'm not saying I didn't like that segment. I thought the Randy heel turn was great. I thought it
Yeah.
nuked the drama in ways that they could never do with anybody else.
Right, and I love the the Orton up in the corner holding his head like I don't really want to do this.
Yeah, they did. It was a fantastic angle. Arthur, I read that statement, and we'll see if there is a next bet because that is awful.
Oh my God. Actually, just Hogan versus Warrior 1 is bad in general.
2 is definitely worse.
It's actual torture. It's
so to counter in.
They lost to Gallows and Anderson. Of course they did.
Right.
They weren't beating them.
Okay, so here's what base up toward, and I will admit it's strategic. It was not the 3 matches I was thinking. Would you like to take a guess with 3 matches? Wait, I'm gonna refill my water yet again. Think about it, and then we'll get what you think they were, and then I'll tell you what they actually were.
I have to ask a couple questions beforehand, but we'll try. Why keep going back to a company that don't use them? See, Terrell, you don't understand. A lot of people say, "Oh, I hate that. They should leave because," and go where? To AEW, where they're gonna get used what? Pretty much the same. New Japan, where they don't have as much of a fan base. Where do they go? They're very.
Kurt Hawkins, yeah, there's no point in him going anywhere. But Zack Ryder, Cody has said he wants him.
That's because they're really good friends.
So
thank you, Vinny Montana.
I mean, I hear your point. There are a lot of people that they say just go to AEW. It's not the solution for everybody. But in the Zack Ryder's case, I say no. It actually would be a good move for him because Cody has openly stated that he wants him.
Sure, but I mean, where does he put him on that crowded roster right now? And remember, I
don't think it's that crowded.
Well, here's the other thing. Everybody talks about how got mad about Buddy Murphy and Seth Rollins winning the tag titles. By that same point, it's 2, and I get it, 2 single stars matched together. Damn, we don't want to see this
And one
anymore.
of them is Seth Rollins yet again.
But on that same point, on the other channel, now we have an AEW, 2 single stars that didn't know what to do with are now the tag champions. They weren't a tag team at the beginning, and I get it. Everybody's defense is, they teamed up in New Japan, and they're the elite.
They're the elite.
But, hold on, Kenny Omega is still elite. Didn't we get Adam Page leave the elite? A couple of months ago, a month ago, he was like, I'm not in the elite anymore. Now all of a sudden they're a tag team.
He kind of still is.
But he openly left.
I know.
And that's the thing. It's bad storytelling on their part, but nobody calls them out on this.
Oh, well, yeah, well.
And that's a great point, Vinny Montana. Thank you.
No one calls you out for it because no one goes to AEW for storytelling. They're nice. They're happy when it's there, but they're not active.
Which isn't fair because they should be judged the exact same way as WWE is.
No. Because the thing is, the people who criticize WWE storytelling are WWE fans. AEW people aren't criticizing their storytelling.
It's not. You got to look at the internet a little bit more, Dave. I know you're not on a lot of social media.
No, my point is the people who really understand the classic WWE storytelling and are upset about it are ones who compare WWE to itself. The AEW fan base complains more about the way, more booking. And booking and storyline are not always the same.
Yeah, yes and no.
They the AEW.
I'll give you that. All right, I'll give you that. Even still,
they're more upset about how certain so and so isn't being used, or so and so isn't doing this.
Well, so here's a perfect example, and Vinny Montana brought this up too. Shawn Spears is barely used on AEW.
Right.
So if Zack Ryder goes there, he's going to be put in that same spot. He's going to be Shawn Spears. You know what I mean?
Harry Flynn, you know what? I'm down. Wait, hold on. When is Super Showdown?
Super Showdown predictions. You have to watch 3 Nikki Bella matches.
When is it? When do I have to make this call? Because when is this Nightmare pay-per-view?
It's this month. I think it's.
And hold on. I'm not opposed to it, but Super Showdown, I don't want it to be like last time where I get a pay-per-view that I really don't want to watch, and now I'm forced to watch it. Because last time I straight up didn't watch it. You know the way I am politically. I'm not opposed to watching it. Last time I didn't watch it because of my hatred for a specific type of person. That's right. A certain people, if you will, and that's celebrities. I hate celebrities in wrestling.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, so
he does.
I didn't want to see Tyson Fury and Cain Velasquez, whatever his name is.
February 27th.
All right, I'll put a pin in it. And I have no problem with the predictions. We'll do the predictions right before the show, or we'll probably do it the Monday before since it's going to be on a Friday, I assume, right?
I'm assuming so, yeah.
But if the card ends up being something like Shawn Michaels at 100 years old is fighting Triple H again, and Ronda Rousey shows up with Tyson Fury, I get to bow out because I'm not sitting through that nonsense. The card is complete garbage, and I really don't want to watch it.
That's fair. That's fair.
Because that's the real punishment. I guarantee I'll be more punished by having to watch the pay-per-view than whatever matches you throw at me.
Can I?
So like, if you want to just solidify it, and we'll do Elimination Chamber instead, I'm okay with that. But I really am worried about Super Showdown because I'm pretty sure I won't want to watch it.
Can I ask a question, Terrell? How do you feel that WWE is running itself into the ground? I think that they're making more money than they ever have.
They lost $1 billion over the weekend.
Yeah, and they'll probably get that in another 3 years from Saudi Arabia. It's not even $1 billion is a drop in the bucket for them, and you know that.
It's a third of what they were worth. They were worth over $3 billion last week.
How did they lose that much in a week?
The stock dropped significantly. People look at it when you take your number 2 and number 3 people on your corporate ladder as sell.
Yeah.
Company in troubles.
It'll come right back.
They're fine. They still have $2 billion, but
and that money will bounce right back because they'll hire a couple people, spin it the right way in the PR, and then people will start investing
for a professional wrestling company. Getting $1 billion back is not easy. Okay, you make it sound
for Vince McMahon's wrestling company.
No, it's not.
It's a lot easier than anybody else.
As you pointed out, they never had $3 billion before. Okay, it's not. There's a reason why. There's a reason why it was so hard. Oh yeah, the Shawn Michaels matches. So yeah, what are your guesses?
Were they good or bad?
My answer is bad.
I'm sorry. Okay, are they heralded as good or bad matches by most people? Like, are we talking about what it was like? Was it like Shawn versus Undertaker from WrestleMania, or are they a lot more obscure? And
they're more obscure, which I actually appreciated that they weren't super obvious. It's funny, I can't remember the second one now, but I know it fits in the same category. I remember the first one. See, I have post-traumatic stress where I'm blocking them out. But they were more obscure. I appreciated that, the first
one
match,
of them was a good match. He said.
Sure.
Maybe what?
Shut up, face up.
Shawn versus 1-2-3 Kid.
No.
Shawn versus Razor.
No, I wish.
So this is gonna be really bad. Shawn versus Hakushi.
They weren't bad, but they were just but they were just obscure. Okay, the second. Okay, Arthur. Okay, fine. The second one was Sid. No, it wasn't Sid. The second one wasn't Sid. Him from Texas. No, it wasn't. Okay, they're just throwing everything out now. All right, the first one was Shawn Michaels versus the Model at SummerSlam 1992.
That's a good one.
That's what I thought. I'm told the secret motivation here was that, base up, if you remember, when they kept doing roll-ups, they kept revealing. I had to see Shawn Michaels' bare ass, so that was.
Oh, that's right, because that was the heel versus heel match.
Yeah, that was the secret. I was like, all right, wrestling a Canadian, they usually get an okay match out of the dummy. So, but no, that was the secret motivation that I had to see ass crack. So, that was the secret. That was the turning the blade. So that's how we started.
That was smart.
Yeah, great. Don't encourage
Andy, JT Aaron, what's up, man?
Yeah, good to see you. It's been a while, Andy. Yeah, it's been a while. The third match was Mankind versus Shawn Michaels for the WWE
Mind Games
Championship. No, was it?
That's the one with the schmoz finish with Vader and
yes
and Undertaker. Yeah, that's Mind Games.
No, I thought it was in your house, Mind
Yeah.
Games. Okay, right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, in your house. Yeah. Yeah.
That was a really good match.
No, it's not.
I thought it was.
I didn't think it was going to be that bad. It was way worse than I was expecting.
Really,
I don't expect anything from Foley.
Ruby Riott just returned. Good for her.
Good. My friend keeps messaging me that I'm.
He said that they're teasing Brock versus Lashley.
Oh, that's right. The second one was Shane.
That's a good one.
No,
that's
it's not.
a good
no,
one. Because it's
really
horrible
not.
and it tortured you.
Oh, yes, it did.
Yeah, that's why it's a good one.
No, it wasn't. That's yeah. So it was a well-crafted scene. I thought he was going to do the Iron Man match just to really torture me. I thought he was going to do the screw job just to torture me. But I gotta admit, his selection was good because the Mankind match, I'm not expecting technical gem out of Foley, and I know that. I like him anyway.
Whoa!
What?
Liv Morgan got beat Lana and got the crap kicked out of her by Ruby Riott. Interesting.
Huh? What? Yeah.
I'm just saying Ruby Riott's back. I mean, that's good.
Yeah.
I like Ruby Riott.
I do too. I do too. I like her a lot. Mantoras, you could not be more wrong.
See, this is where it's weird. So I actually don't. I never had like strong opinions on saying like I hated wrestlers on this channel. Like you would think that you'd actually come across.
Yeah, you just hate fans.
More of a heel than I would as it pertains to at least the wrestling business.
No, because
I hate most wrestling fans. You're right.
Because most people here, or the smart people, are like, I hate Shawn Michaels too. I'm so tired of hearing that. Oh, like he's so great. Oh, finally, there's someone else.
Is it weird?
I'm the refugee that's like, no, you're not alone.
Is it
you
weird
are not alone.
That a bunch of people who are in the wrestling business credit Shawn Michaels as being one of the best ever?
No, it's like...
Is that weird that people who actually work within the industry believe that?
No, or you mean people who work for WWE?
No, within the industry, period.
It is complete nonsense. Because it's like when you asked they were active in the NFL. At the same time, when you ask Peyton Manning who's the best quarterback in the league, he says Tom Brady. He doesn't mean that. He just says that because it's what you're supposed to say.
Yeah, I don't know. Samurai Productions. Yes, we both like Brett more than Shawn.
Anyone to me, it's 9 days.
See now there you go. See, John Stallman he finally called me out on my BS, and I appreciate that. He's 100% right. I do talk crap about Hogan all the time. He's 100% right. I can't.
True.
And by the way, I found.
But he's really the only one.
Yeah, probably. I did find a video. I think it's like it's an anniversary of the Lust in Their Eyes promo today. And
you'd be amazed how many people agree with you on that.
Because he really did have lust in his eyes, Dave.
As I said, the reason why I put that as possibly one of the best wrestling storylines of all time.
Oh, it is.
I think they're both going through separate story arcs, and they're just converging in the same.
Yeah.
It's not where one guy is clearly the main character of this story, and then the other one's just there. It's like, no, they actually are going through both completely separate arcs. And
Based up agrees.
And for me, what's also interesting about it is that I don't really think the Macho Man arc concludes at WrestleMania.
No,
5.
it doesn't.
It continues until the wedding.
WrestleMania 7 at the very least.
I think it continues to the wedding.
Yeah, to the wedding. I'll give
and
you that.
And we don't talk about after that. Shut up. Like, after that doesn't count. And all that stuff in WCW with Liz doesn't count either.
No.
That never happened.
No.
That never happened.
No. It's actually, no. I take it back. The Jake the Snake feud happened.
Oh, yeah, right. That happened.
That's it.
You know what the weird thing is? A lot of people don't know this, is that WWF did acknowledge the divorce. And in the weirdest place... But it is continuity. It is canon. Macho Man admitted to the divorce in the WWF magazine. That's where they revealed that they are no longer together.
I actually didn't know that.
Commentary never brought it up. They never talked about it on camera, but WWE did acknowledge it in their own publication. And it was odd because at the time, backstage personal details like that usually weren't talked about. So
I know.
It was a weird thing that they brought it up. And oddly, her last WWF performance, there's very limited exposure of this happening, but her last WWF performance was in the ring with Macho Man against Shawn Michaels and Sherry.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels said that Liz needed to be banned from ringside. Sherry started interfering, and Liz came out to save Macho Man.
Right, and that's actually the pitched storyline that Macho had with Shawn that never actually happened.
Yeah, so they were testing it on a house show, and that was it. So it's... The split, is unfortunate. Sadly, this stuff kind of happens. But it was an interesting. I probably should have just done an episode about it, but
you probably should.
Whatever. Yeah, for Valentine's Day.
They
really ruined it for everybody.
I love it. A Big Blue Attack. Did they announce the participation of who's going to be in that tournament? Because I am really happy. I haven't watched Ring of Honor in years, to be honest. I'm happy they're bringing back the Pure Championship. It was my favorite championship in Ring of Honor. I loved it.
I like the Code of Honor. Like the ideas behind it were good.
The rope break rule. I mean, it was such a good concept. Like I really liked the idea of it. So I'm hoping that they put look, anybody with Matt Taven at this point. I'll throw that out there. I still can't stand him.
I hear you. But that's because they are working you.
Who, Matt?
Matt Taven to me is just Jay White. It's the same. And that's another guy you talk about not liking.
Oh, no, see, here's the thing. I actually don't dislike Jay White.
But it's the same idea between Matt Taven and Jay White.
I get that. I
didn't working their fans by
I didn't like Matt Taven when he was in the Kingdom either, though.
I think it's on purpose.
Hey, you're probably right.
Yes, Iron Monkey is correct. I did a live Honest Promo Friday, which was pretty funny.
On?
Justina Valentine just for Arthur because he kept.
Oh, because that's what he said. The jerk that you were on Friday. Wow, what?
I said, hold on, I have a gag. I told everyone, I'm like, hold on, I got a gag suit. It's gonna take me a while. So I put it on hold, and then I put the white backdrop up. I put the suit on over there on the coat rack, and then I just busted. I didn't do a full one. I just did the intro, and then everyone who was there, like, whoa, like they just couldn't believe I did it. And like Arthur got so mad, he was like quiet for a while. And I was like, did he leave? And everyone's like, oh no, he's still here. And I'm like, he is here, and he is angry. So,
That's great.
Oh yeah, no, he was fuming.
So yeah, base up, like I'll give you that Matt Taven's probably doing his job as a heel, but
Yeah.
that usually my thing is that it's I can understand, like with Jay White, I understand the way he was being booked. I just don't like that. I don't like how Jay White was booked. Period. I don't like the hey, we lost all the guys who don't look Japanese out of the company, so we're just gonna get another random white guy to make a big star.
I think it's
I
think it's important to stay. I think it's important that we have to say that when Taven first won the ROH Championship in a triple threat ladder match, which was at the G1 Supercard show, which coincidentally was also the first time the IWGP Heavyweight Championship changed hands outside of Japan, which I was there live for. Anyway, I forget what I was going to say. Continue. What were we talking about?
I don't even remember.
Gotcha.
That doesn't get me. That's fine.
I worked them twice in the same episode, twice in the same live stream, 2 times.
Base up. He looks white. He's from New Zealand. They're white.
To what extent should MMA play a role in pro wrestling?
This much.
Right. I don't mind if it's like Shayna Baszler, but it really shouldn't be comparison. And like, I really don't think they should be calling Brock Lesnar and Cain Velasquez, if they go at it again, they shouldn't be calling it a rubber match because it is not. I'm sorry,
it's not the same.
You can't count their MMA fight as round 1, and then their Super Showdown is round 2.
Yeah, they're choreographed, predetermined wrestling match.
Call the next match a rubber match. You really can't.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the thing. Like, I wasn't crazy about Jay White's booking. That was my thing. But Matt Taven, I just never thought he was that talented. So it was always his in-ring work. And I get that, like, when he was with the Kingdom, he was supposed to be a heel, but there was just, like, I don't know, like, there's a lot of heels that know how to work,
But see, here's the other,
Roderick Strong, there's a great example of a heel that really can work.
But you say it all the time, that these guys get over. It's like the thing you can really do in these fan bases and these crowds and these promotions to not get over, it's just not wrestle. Like, if you are a
it's
wrestler,
kind of weird, actually.
You are going to get heat.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
It's really the best thing you could do nowadays. It's like they looked at Roman Reigns, they looked at John Cena, and they say, what are the things that people hate about them? And while I don't think they wrestle and I don't think they wrestle the same as any of those guys. I think there is a significant difference.
Right.
I think that is what they're going for because they know that it's going to get them heat if they're not doing all the moves that the other guy in the ring is. I think it's an intelligent way, whether or not it works, whether or not you're down for it. I think it works. But to the same point, that is one of my major arguments against Shawn Michaels, and I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. As we saw again on Friday, 3 times in a row, might I add. It's like I'm just watching him, and all he does is punch and kick. He occasionally does a crossbody, then he jumps. And other than his moonsault, which he didn't do in any of those matches that I saw, he does like a crossbody block. He jumps up and does a forearm, and that's kind of it. It's like really rudimentary jumps and punches. Like anybody can do that. I don't get what the big deal is. But people want to insist that he's great.
Because he can sell his ass off, and that's what
I don't think
he makes you believe. He tells a good story.
I don't think he can.
And you look, you can say he tells the same story every time, but Ric Flair kind of did the same thing. Chop, beg off, chop, beg off. Big comeback.
I disagree because Ric Flair's
and then work the legs.
Ric Flair, I was going to say Ric Flair's amateur wrestling background shows he has a strong amateur wrestling background, and it's very apparent. It's like there's certain things that if you did amateur wrestling or study amateur wrestling, you can pick those guys out of a lineup when you watch them. You're like, like Dolph Ziggler, because the way he darts down, he drops to one knee, the way he scoots across the ring, or he shoots across the ring. A lot of his movements, if you know amateur wrestling, you can spot it out like there's no tomorrow. And Dolph Ziggler is one of those examples. It's another reason why when people compared the two, Shawn Michaels and Dolph, I say I don't think so at all, because you could tell Dolph was an amateur wrestler, where Shawn Michaels wasn't, and it's very obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like the same thing with Flair. Flair's background, the way Flair moves around the ring, the way Flair keeps the hands open, keeps the stances, like that's all classic amateur wrestling maneuvers. And I am a sucker for that. And the selling thing, Shawn Michaels, look, you know Stone Cold's my favorite wrestler, but I kind of have a similar problem with him in his later career. As we all know, I've said it before, like, later half of his career was a very different Stone Cold. The Stone Cold I really like was pre-net parade.
Well, here,
but
we'll put it this
Stone
way.
Cold
You liked Steve Austin. You weren't a fan of the Stone Cold ring work.
No, I like the Stone Cold ring work. The King of the Ring was great. Everything before his stuff with Brett was great. But the later stuff, a lot of times Austin sold by laying face down and like this.
Yeah, he did.
You saw it a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy who sold when he was bleeding like a stuck pig while in the sharpshooter, that Austin sell, amazing. Later in the career, you didn't see as much of that.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the thing about Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels' way of selling was always making those various goofy faces, which were just plain ridiculous.
Well, it's the same thing as like the concussion face that Johnny Gargano and Ricochet both try to do.
When you get concussed, that's a concussed face. So, while you know that I think this guy gets too much heat, John Cena, I don't like it when Cena makes goofy faces either. So it's like Shawn Michaels makes these goofy faces. I don't mind you making like faces to sell it in the face. That's a good idea. But some of these are so over the top and ridiculous. Like how many freeze frames of Shawn Michaels do you see where his face looks like it's melting? It's like he's a cartoon character. And it's like, what is it? Like that's what I don't like about his selling. It's so ridiculous.
This Montoris is maybe my new favorite person in the world. You do look like a Jim Cornette talking about Kenny Omega when you talk about Shawn Michaels. Damn. Dude, sweet comparison.
I am more accurate. I say I'm more accurate about.
I don't know about that.
You got to refill again. I am way too thirsty for my own today.
Good. When you're done, I do the same thing.
I think it's all the lights we have on.
Ben Espinosa, I'll agree with that. ECW Steve Austin was fantastic. His feud with Mikey Whipwreck was great. Him putting over Mikey Whipwreck was it just shows how selfless he was and that he got the business. I loved it. Guys, every tag team has a Jannetty. What was your favorite? So this is gonna make
Jannetty.
This is actually gonna make Dave happy.
You mean the better of the two wrestlers?
When I was younger, I was a bigger Marty Jannetty fan than I was a Shawn Michaels fan.
I am a big fan. Yeah. And so was I.
I was a bigger Smash fan than Axe. I don't know why, but I liked Smash more.
Hawk or Animal? Or do you just hate both?
Animal.
Another one you hate. See, I like Hawk better.
Oh, see, there you go. Yeah.
In Contra, what was your favorite upgrade for the gun?
Oh,
because I'm willing to bet that I know yours.
What?
I feel like you're gonna say the spread.
Of course.
See,
was that not the best one?
Laser, man. All right, good.
Nah, come on.
Are yours?
No way. The spread was so much better. You hit so many more people with that.
If you tapped it real fast, you turned it into a lightsaber, and then you could just drill mothers by running into them.
That's a good point.
But I knew you were a spread guy.
If Sasha isn't cleared by Mania, who should face Bayley for the title? Honestly, I don't know, and that's horrible.
Not really.
Who's on SmackDown that you would put in that spot?
I think if anything from Kofi Mania. Oh, and I left the door open so you could get more water.
I know. I just want to hear what your answer is.
As we learned from Kofi last year, you can come up with something short term and is good if you let it play out organically. It seems like they're pitching this Naomi idea.
Oh, I'm cool with that. Okay, then I'm fine. Okay, you name one person that I'm totally okay with.
Yeah, I'm not saying that has to be Naomi, but I think that's where they're going.
And somebody brought this up. I was a Matt Hardy guy way over Jeff the entire time.
So was I, but that was one of the first things we talked about on Livestream too. I asked. Because I was like, I know everyone likes Jeff more, but I felt Matt was a better technician. And I'm like, let's see what the people said. Everybody said Matt. Everybody said Matt. And I was like,
Matt's a better technician, a better character.
I thought I was going crazy. I was like,
and a better mind for the business. Jeff Hardy is a spot monkey, which makes sense why a lot of the internet likes him better.
But that's what the Know-It-All Nation is. The Know-It-All Nation is the place where everybody who feels
Some of you guys are smart.
Yeah. Not Arthur is what he's trying to say. Everyone but Arthur.
Not what I said.
I know what you meant. But yeah, laser is a precision weapon, yes. Now, we have Naomi, we have Lana. Think about what their names are backwards. Anyway, Dana Brooke versus Bayley at WrestleMania. I wouldn't hold on to that.
Wait, what was that last part?
Arthur says Dana Brooke versus Bayley at WrestleMania. I wouldn't hold my breath on that one, Val.
Wow, that just went right down.
Thoughts on Twitter controversy around I did not know Paige did that.
What did she do?
Augmentation surgery.
Yeah, she did. So I saw the I saw the photo, and I just didn't think she needed
I
it.
bet you did.
No, I honestly, it was on Instagram, her Instagram story.
Sure, you were just reading it for the articles. I know.
No, I flipped through everybody's Instagram story. You don't have Instagram, you wouldn't know what that means.
That's right.
Yeah. So at the top there are, there's a little thing, and it's called a story, and like every day you can just put up different things in your story. She posted a picture of her, I guess, post workout, and those things were up to her chin. And they were humongous.
Well, purely for research purposes.
I don't understand why there was a controversy around it. I mean, so she got implants. So did Lita. So did Stephanie McMahon. So did, I believe, Trish did too. You know what I mean? Like a lot
Really,
of
Trish? Oh wait, yeah, no, never mind.
yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, there's a lot of people that did it. I don't know why people are tearing her apart. Like, they think it's stupid.
All right. Apparently, I have to specify.
Albert
I got some
versus
girl
Dave.
named Paige Van Sant. I don't know who that is.
Paige Van Zandt was an MMA fighter.
Yeah.
Who's actually a huge wrestling fan. Albert versus Dave. If Albert wins, Dave has to put HBK over. If Dave wins, Albert has to bury Vince Russo.
bad.
I don't see. That's the thing. I wouldn't mind burying. There are a lot of things I don't like about Vince Russo. There are a lot of things that Vince Russo was good for. His booking of shows, the timing, the structure of his shows. He treated it like what wrestling is. It's a television show, and he did it really well. The Monday Night Raw structure is great.
Iron Monkey got me. He got me with that one.
Yeah.
It looks like she's auditioning for the role of Laura Croft.
Yeah. I'll give you that. Yeah.
Yeah, Charlotte had him.
Yeah.
She's gotten 3 total.
Yeah. Exactly. So I mean,
personally, I'm not a fan of them. I mentioned that before.
yeah. And
I'm
Alexa might have too. I'm not sure about Alexa.
Well, she has had them.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't know if she got them again.
Well,
she had them. She got another ones. I don't know if she's gotten a 3rd round or whatever.
Oh.
Maybe, I don't know. But yeah,
that's one who I felt like didn't need it. Nikki Bella. There's another one.
Yeah, I do think it's weird that only one twin got it.
Yeah, I know.
And yeah, and of course Harry Flynn mentions Nikki Bella. Tori Wilson. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, just put it somewhere. Like
it's just in my eye.
Yeah, I know. It's a problem. But a lot of females have gotten them. Yeah, as I said, I'm personally not a fan of them.
Big Blue Attack. It's hard for me to answer that question, just specifically because I don't really know the landscape in ROH right now. I don't know if I can name 20 guys on the Ring of Honor roster right now, and that's hard.
You're assuming there are 20 guys on the roster.
That's a good point.
Charlotte wants to get implants 16 times.
Woo! Andy JT Aaron. So here's the thing about the.
Well, don't you mean 8 times?
Ooh, yeah, maybe. Mickey James is not all natural either, by the way. She got implants too, Jason Oliver. Sorry.
Yeah, a lot of wrestling females do. As I said, I've never been I'm not a fan of the practice in general, but because of what happened to Charlotte, I do feel like it's a
risky game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the physics of it. I've never studied it so much, but as we learn, it can happen, and I don't know, that scares me.
Yeah. But yeah, the comment that Triple H made about Paige, I think that is. I think Triple H for a second maybe forgot he was talking to the media, and was just like went into, hey, we're cool, we joke around, like I can say stupid stuff like that, but he forgot where he was talking.
According to Pesa, Brie got them too, just not as obvious as Nikki's. I feel that isn't true, but
I don't know, to be honest. It might be. Hailing from the Twisted Steel section of YouTube, Albert Dudley. From the other side of YouTube, Dave Knows Dudley. I actually like that.
I like that too.
Wait, why am I from the Twisted Steel section?
Oh, you know
with
why.
Big Dick Dudley?
Oh, you know why.
Hey, that's not...
Because you're
Because I have one? All right, I'll take it.
No, you are one.
No, that's not true. Hey, Dave and Jericho.
To be honest...
Are you calling me Jericho degenerate? Because that's a compliment. It was Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega, CM Punk, Tyson Kidd, AJ Styles, I'm assuming, Seth Rollins, and Adam Cole all have in common. They're all wrestlers.
They're all from north of the Mason-Dixon line?
They're not all Canadian.
Wait, no. Adam Cole, where's he from?
He's a Panama City Playboy.
All right, never mind.
Yeah.
Then I don't know. See, just to be clear, I actually don't know what the Triple H page comment was.
So he was talking about two people. Edge. And he said, Edge, like, I don't want Edge or Paige to come back to the ring. I want them to, if they can't, I want them to be healthy. I want them to lead healthy lives. And he said, Edge has kids. Paige goes, well, she might have some kids somewhere that she doesn't know about.
Oh, wait, I did hear about this. Oh,
which
he said that a while ago. Though.
Yeah,
so it's nothing new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is honestly has to be taken as a joke because it's funny because it's not a possible way for a woman to have kids that she doesn't, that you know what I mean? Like,
how
that
dare you underestimate women? They could do anything they want to.
Have a kid and not know about it?
Yeah, maybe they're a heavy sleeper.
That's a talent, man.
Yeah, I didn't think that was that big of a deal.
Yeah, I didn't think so either.
I
know, I get it. I know Paige probably took it hard because I know that people just destroy her every day on social media, which I don't understand. Because
I like Paige and I hate Triple H. So you know what? I'll just flip my stance over and just say, you know what? Paige is right. I hate Triple H. How dare he?
What I find funny is like, especially now, I feel like.
Do you guys G? What?
I don't know what that is. Yeah. But my thing is that like.
Is that like dabbing?
I hope not, because I would never do that.
I do every time I sneeze.
Fair enough.
I don't put the other arm up. I'm just saying cover your mouth when you sneeze and cough.
Yeah. And your Samurai Productions, you're 100% right. People do need a layoff sometimes. But, my thing is that, like, I understand that, people, like, rip apart Paige online. I just don't get it. Because if anybody was in Brad Maddox or the other guy's predicament, they would have made the same tape at the same time and done the same thing and would have been happy about it. So why is it bad that and she gets ripped apart for that, but nobody else says really much negative except if you're one of the Usos to Xavier Woods or Brad Maddox? Like, I don't understand that. Do all of you guys really honestly believe that women are virgins before the first time you get in there? Because, newsflash, guys, maybe you guys don't have a lot of sex.
I was thinking that it was them shooting up where it was Paige shooting down. I mean,
maybe
Maddox, really?
Brad Maddox was a good-looking guy. I mean, no homo, but he was a good-looking guy.
I'm just saying, Paige, youngest champion in her division, and one of the people that kickstart the revolution. Woods hasn't sniffed a singles title, and I like Xavier Woods. I'm not knocking him. I'm just trying to throw this out there in perspective.
So he's yet to sniff a title?
A singles title, I said.
Oh, okay. I wasn't about to say. Wow.
And Brett Maddox. Do I have to say anymore? Because before that happened, most people were like, "Who?"
I don't know what he knows what it is, but all right.
Arthur swears up and down that she looked like she aged in a picture, and he swears that's an accurate statement. And all I think is the more he says it, the more he proves he's an idiot.
Look, I can't get behind the negative Alexa Bliss thing. We were just talking about this before we went online. I actually feel like she's gotten hotter recently. Yeah. I don't know what it is, but yeah.
It's I mean, I'm very off of social media, so I don't know about most of the stuff because I don't care about like social media. And as I said, I defend Paige more than Triple H's joke, I didn't think it was that offensive, but remember, this is the current climate is people, there are people who are very sensitive about those things, and they're going to talk about it.
And my other thing is this, it's the white knighting now. It's the same thing for Tessa Blanchard.
Yeah.
Everybody's a white knight. Oh, I don't think Tessa would ever say that. Have you met her? Have you ever had a conversation with her? How do you know that? And that's my thing. Like, look, you're never, ever, I don't care who you are, if you're in the comment section of a wrestling page, you're never going to sleep with any female professional wrestler. Get it through your head that they're never going to read those comments, and even if they did, they would probably say, thank you for sticking up for me. They wouldn't sleep with you.
Hold on. Jason Oliver, I don't think that's the case, especially for me because I'm not a Botox fan. But
I don't think she has.
Andy, JT Aaron, I think hit the nail on the head because that's what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. Like, I think she's better looking as a babyface. I think when she's a good guy or a good girl, she's a more. I like that. Like, I miss the Frozen Sparkle Princess gimmick. I thought that was really cute on her. And then we said before the show, before we came on, I said, but I think Trish Stratus on the other hand is the other way around. I think Trish is way hotter when she's bad. I don't.
Yep.
Like, that's how I view it, at least.
See, people actually agree with me. God, you said nobody agrees with me before we got on here.
Well, you started making sense.
I've always made sense.
Yeah, no, look, I talk about it all the time. Social media is made for. Now, I didn't talk about this recently, and I'm trying not to call out anybody out, but there's like, when certain tragedies happen, I don't know if anyone's ever noticed this on Livestream, but I tend not to really talk about it or bring it up or make a big deal out about it. And I believe it was, if I'm hearing this third party, but I believe it was the comedian Anthony Jeselnik who said, whenever somebody starts saying like, oh, our thoughts are with the family or whatever like that about when certain tragedies happen or whatever, what they're really trying to say is, I too also exist. Just know that I exist. Because their friends and family aren't reading like whatever's like you said, they're not reading these comment section. They're not reading the things. Do they know you? Are you a part of this? No. Then why would they be here? They could care less. You're not giving any. You're not consoling them in any way, shape, or form because they're not here. All you're doing is saying like hashtag I'm a good person too. And even if that's not your intent, the point of the matter is I don't bring it up because I know when all these tragedies happen, none of them are listening to me. Like they don't care what I have to say.
And now here's the thing. So I'm going to get to some of these comments in a couple seconds. Specifically, Arthur, your thing about Tessa, but we'll get there. I did a tribute show when, on one of my old podcasts when Chris Cornell passed away, because Chris Cornell is one of my favorite artists. So yeah, I did a tribute show to memorialize an artist who we lost, who meant a lot to me. I did the same thing for Chester Bennington as well. Because they're artists who I really believe, impacted my life heavily. But nobody's going to see that, that really cares, or that matters, or in their lives. Nobody's going to pass that on. I did that for me. That's the thing. A lot of people don't do these things specifically for, they do it because they want to be noticed, like you said.
Right.
Hey, I'm here too. Look at me.
Oh. Boo, base up, and boo. Yeah, they were all whoa. Thank you so much for the super chat, John Stallman. With Vince booking MMA people, is that Inokiism?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a possible upcoming thing that I don't want to give away too much.
Why do they always do this?
It's something very different. It's something very.
But
it's
how
something
do they always
different.
even sniff at it?
But thank you for the super chat. And short answer is yes.
I think so. And Andy JT Aaron, I don't think Cain Velasquez was wasted in WWE.
He wasn't any good in WWE.
The thing is that he's also still training, and he's
and I can't stress it enough. Shayna Baszler, the years of work she put into
100%, yes.
Plural. Way more work than Ronda Rousey. And guess what? It shows.
Yeah.
It shows. I think New Jack is awesome. Really great person. I've met him. Great guy. I think he's awesome.
Harry, if you say you slept with Nikki Bella, you know what? I believe you. But other than that, no, look, and Arthur, you bring up the timing situation when it comes to Tessa Blanchard. If Tessa didn't put out a tweet right before that to open herself up to being ripped apart.
I don't agree. I don't think that is. Asking for support, I've talked about this here too. Asking for support does not mean you need all the floodgates open for everything. It's a loose connection.
Hold on. Asking for support from a bunch of people that you didn't support.
Well, let's put it this way, and
you know what I mean?
I asked.
That'd be like me saying.
I addressed the No It All Nation. I said, so if you have bullied, if you had said something racist, if you had said something like that in the past, does that mean for the rest of your life and the rest of your career you no longer deserve support? Is that what we're saying? If that's what you're saying, okay, fine. If it's not, but realize the difference here.
So here's the thing. I think
it's a monumental occasion. That what she accomplished. It's something that no one has ever done before.
Right.
Does that? It was allegedly it was 3 years or so ago. Maybe she changed. Maybe she isn't. But does the milestone outweigh?
I don't see. Here's the thing. I don't think so.
Is it more important than the person? The accomplishment
it is
more important than the person doing it.
So yes and no, because at the same point is Chris Benoit's World Heavyweight Championship.
That is not historic making. That is not history in the making. I'm sorry. It is not as big of a deal.
Winning the main event of the 20th anniversary
nowhere
of WrestleMania?
Near as big of a deal as Tessa winning the Impact Championship.
All right, fine. I'll give you that. But here's this. How's this?
I preferred it, but it is not as big of a deal.
So how's this as an example? How's this for an example? When Sasha Banks, who has notoriously been called a complainer by a bunch of people who don't know what they're talking about, and Charlotte Flair main evented the first ever Hell in a Cell, they got nothing but positive support. When the first ever WrestleMania happened with Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte, they got nothing but a resounding amount of support. Now, all of those people probably weren't horrible to the people that they worked with, so they got support from them. Here's the thing. No, just give me 1 second to finish. Now, if Tessa Blanchard was a good person to was a crappy person to everybody she worked with.
Allegedly.
If she was a crappy person to a bunch of people she worked with, and had this big match coming up, and then said, "Hey, why don't we all support each other?" You didn't do that the other end. Okay. So yeah, you can't say why can't we all support each other if you didn't support any of them.
But again, we're working with the if. According to Tessa, it's not true.
Sure.
So hold on. But realize that if you're Tessa, you're firmly saying it's not true. So it's not like you're opening up the floodgates for something that's not true. Let's just say she never made those claims, never did any of that stuff, and is saying, "Hey, support me." You can't say so. You see what I'm saying? People are saying, "Well, you can't." Well, as far as Tessa's concerned,
here's the other thing. Remember, she's always had a bad attitude. Always.
Again, allegedly.
That's why she didn't get picked up by the WWE. Okay. And that wasn't allegedly. That was put out there. The people have said, yeah, Tessa had a horrible attitude.
Understood,
and
but
she didn't get
one thing doesn't beget the other.
Yes, it does in that way.
You can have a horrible attitude, but that doesn't mean you're racist. Arthur Pryor has a terrible attitude. I wouldn't accuse him of being racist. Just stupid.
And once again, the racist thing is horrible.
Right.
I think her spitting in her face is 10 times worse than that.
But same thing. Just because you have a rough attitude or you're difficult to work with doesn't necessarily mean you spit in someone's face. And I'm not saying she did it. I'm just saying what we have to go by. But I'm just lining up the things here. If you were Tessa and you didn't do those things and you asked for support, that of course that's not asking for it.
Super Ermac, you're right. I did hold you down in the business. Convince promoters not to hire you and say I take a deposit and no show.
I knew it.
Yeah, that was me. But that's the thing. Look, whether or not that's the case, you have to know that what your demeanor is and how you come off to people. Even if she didn't.
You're working.
No.
You're working on the pretext that she
did.
Hold
on. Even if she didn't do anything, you have to know how you come off to people. And there's a lot of people who have said that she comes off like a jerk. So no, if you're a jerk, I'm not going to support you, even if you haven't done anything negative to me.
That doesn't add up. Just because someone's a jerk doesn't mean doesn't mean they can't ask for support.
Yeah, it kind of does.
No, it doesn't. Absolutely.
That'd be like me asking all the wrestling fans that I crap all over, "Hey guys, support me." No, that doesn't work that way. They're going to go, "No, we hate you. We don't agree with anything you want."
So if her only crime is she having a bad attitude, that means she doesn't deserve support for winning the Impact Championship. That's really what you're saying, and that doesn't track. That doesn't track whatsoever. The accomplishment outweighs any known quantity.
It will go down in history, and people will stop talking about Tessa's attitude, and they will start talking more about.
Have you checked out that channel? Yes, and I still don't know how to say your name.
Fair enough. I wouldn't.
And look, as my honest promo has said, which, by the way, have you seen anybody you recognize on here yet?
No, not yet. Not yet, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, I get it. And by the way, I love Tully, okay? I think he's like a meaner Dean Malenko.
John Solomon, how am I wrong about Hogan? He had lust in his eyes, and he wasn't anywhere near.
It was just concern.
And Randy Savage could have done just as good of a job in Hogan's spot as Hogan ever could. Don't care what anybody says. You'll never convince me.
All I have to say is
you will never convince me of that. Just like you will never convince Dave that Shawn Michaels is good.
Yeah, this is what I hope never ever happens in any way, shape, or form, and for any reason. I hope I'm never around you and your girlfriend, and for some reason she needs to be carried somewhere, and you can't do it because there will never be. I'm gonna have to leave you here because I know how this is.
You have to go get you do what you would properly do, and inform somebody who would know how to take care of somebody. What if she broke her neck and Hogan picked her up and her neck was broken? He could have killed her.
She was talking about her leg.
No, okay. What if he broke her? What if she broke her leg and he didn't stabilize it the right way? He didn't know what he was doing. He should have.
I'm just going to say, sorry, I have to leave you here. It's the
What Hogan should have done is went to the referee who was on the outside, because there was always 2 referees at that time during a tag team match, and said, hey, she's down, she's hurt, get her help. And then got into the corner and helped his best friend.
I'm just saying, let her know that if for some odd reason that very specific thing ever happens, tell her
I am going to, as a matter of fact, I will show her that
and
Saturday Night's
explain
Main
to her,
Event.
you can't be mad. No matter how long you have
No.
to lie there waiting on the EMT, you can never get upset. That's how things have to go down.
100%, because I will always accuse of whoever picks you up as having lust in their eyes.
And you go, that better be a female operating this ambulance.
John Stallman, I get that. I 100% understand that Hogan had more notoriety than Savage. Nobody cared about Hogan in Rocky III and him winning the world title. That wasn't the main reason why. It was how Vince booked him. American made. Coming out to Eye of the Tiger. All that stuff. That's how Vince booked him. If he would have booked Macho Man the exact same way, Macho Man would have done it and had better promos the entire way. Plus, he had Liz, which was a beautiful woman to accompany him to the ring, which would have made it even better of a presentation. Macho Man would have absolutely done a better job than Hogan.
Hogan was bigger.
I don't care about, who cares about size?
That helps.
Can you imagine if Savage would have imagine the differentiation instead of Hogan just
But that always bothered Randy. Always bothered him. I'm just going to say. He perpetually got bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, I know, and I hated that.
I hated that too.
This is mobility.
I also hated when Booker T got it, but yeah.
Absolutely not. Snooker wouldn't have been able to pull it off.
Snooker could not talk.
Snooker couldn't talk. Snooker's idea of a promo was, I'll break your bone and any part of your bone. What does that mean?
Shut up, brother. No, what?
Yeah. No way.
No one understood what he was saying. Plus, and I've said that, for me, I've said this before, out of those two, Macho is the way better bad guy. He's way better at being a heel than Hogan is. Some people say that's close, or that's really
and he's
closer.
a better promo.
Well, some people say that's closer than what I'm making it out to be, but I think Randy's great at being a face too. But I just think he's better at being a John Stallman and another super chat. Savage was heel, not a babyface like Hogan. Yeah, that's the thing. Savage out of those two.
Whoa. Savage won the world title as a babyface.
As a babyface. But out of those two, when they feuded, you have to put Macho in the heel position. It works better that way. And when they tried flopping in WCW, granted they were older, but when Hogan was the heel and Savage was the babyface in the NWO, it didn't work.
Thank you, Base Up. I've said that 1,000,000 times. You're 100% right.
Use the elbow drop, that would have been fine. Yeah, well, yeah, it would have been. I mean, I also remember somebody, dropping 7 elbows, 5 elbows on someone.
Yeah, and then getting kicked out of it. The worst ending.
And that's assuming Macho could do that. At that time, I don't think he could have.
What, WrestleMania 3? Sure.
No, he could not have. I'm sorry.
You think really Hogan did a lot there? Andre got himself up and slammed himself.
Oh yeah, because Andre was real known for jumping.
Did you see it? Andre's left foot barely even leaves the ground, and he gets.
Yeah, but Hogan did work on it too.
Sure, he did. I'm sure Savage would have been able to do the same thing.
I'm not so sure. I'm not saying he couldn't have, but it's a rough call.
Lies.
There's a reason why. And Hogan.
Arthur Pryor. Name me one good Jimmy Snuka promo. Name me one. And why can't the guy have a manager? That's not
what we're getting at. You need to be
Yeah, you need to have all the tools. And like I said, Savage had a manager. I was 100% supportive of Miss Elizabeth still being there. But Miss Elizabeth didn't have to talk. She just needed to look sympathetic. She added so much more to the Randy Savage character. Added dimension to it.
Yeah.
Which would have made him bigger if he was in the Hogan position. Boom.
As I said, they flopped it the other way around in WCW. Savage was the babyface.
That was
Hogan was the heel.
It was WCW,
and it didn't work.
And nobody cared.
Which is weird to me. That just shows you
because they've seen that feud 100 times already. It was overdone.
You mean once?
By the time the NWO happened, Savage and Hogan had split up and been best friends in WCW 17 times.
Well, my point in the matter is it works better with Macho being the heel. He's a better heel than Hogan is a heel. He has to be the bad guy.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
He has to be the bad guy, and it doesn't work the other way around. It's like Austin and Rock. It doesn't work the other way around. Austin being the heel and Rock being the babyface, it doesn't work that way. Austin has to be the face and Rock has to be the heel. It has to go down that way.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not disagreeing with that.
And that's another example. It's a similar thing. Yeah, it was over a different period of time, but during the invasion angle, Austin was the bad guy and The Rock was the good guy. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like it just there's certain dynamics that certain people fit into certain roles, and they just have got to fit in that.
Smart Killer, you're technically right. Miss Elizabeth was a valet. She wasn't really a manager. You're right. You're 100% right. I'll give you that.
But yeah, name me the guy, the face of the company, who had.
Oh, Ben Espinosa coming in, dropping truth bombs.
Dave, what are your thoughts on Tom Phillips replacing Vic Joseph on commentary? And Hogan was a heel.
It's
when
better.
He wrestled in WWE because he did heel tactics. He's
Boom. All the time, Dave. Say it all the time.
But doing heel tactics does not mean he's a heel. He was booked as a babyface. I mean, saying that Hulk Hogan during Hulkamania was a heel. That's ridiculous. That's preposterous.
We didn't say he wasn't. He didn't say he
just
was.
said.
No, hold on. He didn't say he
and
was.
Hogan was a heel when he wrestled in
fine.
WWE. He's
when he wrestled.
saying it.
When he wrestled like a heel.
Like a heel is not what he said.
Okay, fine. Then he missed a word. But that's what I've been saying the entire time.
That's like saying I missed the word not.
He did the elbow. Wait, hold on. Boot across the eyes. He always the back rake.
Yeah.
Like major heel moves. Hogan just wrestled like a heel, just got cheered for it. And I don't care what anybody says. You can tell me a billion times. Hulk Hogan was the heel of Royal Rumble 1992. I don't care what anybody says. There is no reason why a babyface would cost a heel a match to an even more hated heel because he was mad.
Heel yet. He was becoming heel at that moment.
Fine. There you go. Even better. He cost a babyface a match against the heel because the guy played by the rules of the match.
But nonetheless, you're glazing over that important part. He was still cheered. That's the important part here. I know you think the will of the people really doesn't mean much because you insist that they're wrong all the time. But when the
Thank you, Ben Espinosa.
choose to do something, that's it. He wrestled like a heel.
Yes.
But it doesn't change that he wasn't.
He was booked like a heel too.
I just forgot that I didn't even try that.
Well,
And it's right there.
yeah. Do you want to try it now? I mean, it doesn't
No,
make
I
sense
don't
now.
care.
Yeah.
But yeah, he did do heel stuff. I'm not saying that he didn't, but again, the will of the people. He was cheered anyway.
Jake the Snake tells a story. Andre called a body slam, and Andre went up, and suddenly he was just holding him, and his knees were buckling. See, there you go.
Of course they were.
If Jake can get him up decently, then Savage could have. Jake had arms that looked like mine.
But I'm willing to bet he was a bit more numb to certain experiences.
Well, I'll give you that.
I think that probably had something to do with it.
What are my thoughts on Killer Cross? I hope that if Killer Cross goes wherever he can
Michael
be used
Obama,
best.
what is your issue? I'm sorry that you feel that way. You were really passionate about wrestling. Okay, I'm sorry. Why not?
There's reasons why I.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway.
199 Super Chat coming in from Inigo Montoya. YouTube needs to be better with notifications. We kind of noticed that earlier today. But yes, thank you for being here. I'm just mumbling. Mumbling while typing, that's hard. Takes talent.
Smart Killer, yeah, I mean, Cena had heel tendencies, but he didn't wrestle like a heel full time when he was a babyface.
But thank you very much, Inigo Montoya. It means so much to me, the Super Chat. Yeah, sorry. But thank you, Inigo Montoya.
And I always love how you do your Super Chats in
199.
Yeah, in increments of 99. I do appreciate that.
Sorry that the notification's been rough. Yeah, we kind of had that suspicion. But thank you very much for the Super Chat. And yeah, I'm glad that you're here now. So don't worry, we're still going to be on. Ilka next slammed Andre. I'm sure Savage could. That's not bad. That's a fair comparison. Yeah. And I was going to bring that up, Hogan wasn't the first to slam Andre. Yeah. You know what's weird is there's a lot of things, while people know it's a work and people know storyline is loose at best,
sure.
The WrestleMania 3 is one thing where a lot of people still buy it.
Yeah.
Like, I get it from, like, legit wrestling fans. Wasn't Andre undefeated for 15 years? I was like, no, he really wasn't.
Yeah, he really wasn't. Yeah.
And I was like, what? And I was like, that was a work, right? And I'm amazed how many people, like, do bring it up. And then also they're like, well, Hogan was the first person to slam. I'm like, no, he wasn't. I was like, he had done it prior. Before WrestleMania 3, he had already slammed them, and so did Big John Studd, so did Killer Kowalski. I was like, this is nothing new.
Yeah.
But a lot of people buy that.
Harley Race, Demolition Axe. I mean, there's a lot of guys who
And-
slammed Andre way before
But
that.
I am amazed that the legacy of that match
Yeah.
still holds up.
Let me tell you something. That is the epitome of WWE's WWE-centric storyline.
Customers are the worst, aren't they?
They really are. But that was the top example of a WWE-centric storyline to convince everybody else that nothing ever happened before it. I mean, it's amazing.
yeah, it really was.
But you also have to realize you can't do that now. You could do that in 1987 when there was no internet. Because people
it's easier, but
because people would say, "Hey, Harley Race slammed him. When? Show me."
It's easy, it's easier, but I think a lot of things like this happen. I think you get away with a lot of it now. Like it wasn't as like it still happens because you still get away with it. But this is not as nearly as a big of a deal as Hogan Andre. I'm going to start this out right now. Like I can't even believe I'm getting this. This is the first one that came to my head. I apologize. No one remembers this. I guarantee no one remembers this or cares. And I really don't even want to talk about it. But when Seth Rollins beat Sting because, Captain Sloppy decided to, end Sting's career, they said it was the first time Sting had ever lost clean. Do you remember that?
Did they really?
They were trying to pitch it that way, yes. And I really
Oh, come on. That's horrible.
And unfortunately, that's not true.
Yeah.
Sid Vicious got Sting clean in an episode of Nitro.
Sting lost clean a lot.
Yeah. That's the one that hurts
Sting
the
put
most.
a lot of guys over.
But without outside interference or
Yeah.
anything like that.
Yeah.
Sting Sid just got him.
Yeah.
And so, no, didn't have the same impact in any way, shape, or form. They're not.
I think DDP beat him clean too.
They're not
there's a
even
lot of
on
guys
the
that beat him
same
clean.
level. They're not on the same level.
Yeah.
But yes, they did try that. They did try building that up to get Rollins over. No one reacted. And nobody Googled it and said, "Well, let's find out." And it's like nobody really cared. No, nobody cared. But they have tried it recently. Is what I'm trying to say.
What's funny is
Quasi recently.
What they don't bring up all the time is that if you look it up, Undertaker's only lost clean about 10 times total in his entire WWF career. Is that not crazy that guy's been around for all that time? He's lost clean 10 times. And it's weird that one of those is to Vladimir Kozlov.
Yeah. One thing that's also weird is Goldberg has lost to less than 10 people. But most of the time, it's not clean.
Yes. Yeah.
And one of the clean wins is stupid, but whatever.
Listen, no, he didn't beat him clean. There was outside interference.
Who do you think I'm talking? No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's Triple H is the only guy who got a clean win.
No, it was in Elimination Chamber. He beat him, and he hit him in the face with a sledgehammer.
But it's under the rules.
All right, so you're right. Okay,
yeah, under the rules, that's fair.
All right, yeah, you're right. That's fair. That's fair. Jess Kroll, me and Dave have the very similar thoughts on Orange Cassidy, the most lethal striker in the history of professional wrestling.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Dave, you probably mentioned this before, but I've never heard them thoughts on Orange. Oh, right. Sorry.
Yeah.
I just read that. I talked to him before. Well, I want to hear also. Same thing. In all truth aside, I don't I liked indie Orange Cassidy more than what AEW Cassidy's in. I don't think that, in all jokes aside, that's one of my two favorite internet gags.
That and the
El Generico thing.
Yeah.
But anyway,
which is fact. I don't know why you're saying it's a gag.
I don't know either. But the thing about Orange Cassidy, I liked him better on the indies, where the nonchalantness was meant to anger and infuriate his opponent. And then once they got good and angry at him and they started losing control, that's when his real offense would kick in. That's when he would start hitting, missile drop kicks and doing all those and doing real serious offense, and that's how he would win. If you watch older indie stuff with Orange Cassidy, that's what he's doing. It was part of there was a method to the madness. In AEW, we haven't seen as much of him as I would like, but when we do see him, it's mostly him just doing that gag and not really following through with the other. Now, maybe they're doing it on purpose to hold off on it, to make that reveal bigger when it gets, and if that's the case, awesome.
Cool, that's good long-term booking. I appreciate it.
But yeah, from the independent scene, that's where I really liked Orange Cassidy more so than anything else.
And that's the thing. I like the fact that wrestling fans have just universally said, okay, so he's a comedy act, so we're not going to take him super serious. And that's when everybody started getting behind Santino a few years ago, when he was really, really hot, when he was the runner-up to Del Rio in the Royal Rumble and all that kind of stuff. People got behind him because because they were like, oh, it's a comedy act. We're not meant to take him seriously. It would be really funny to see him upset somebody and win a match. And that's what you get with Orange Cassidy.
But I think it's different than Santino because he eventually proves. I mean, let's be real here. The hands in the pockets and being able to kip up and doing a lot of stuff he does take athletic talent. He's a tremendous athlete. You don't get that sense, and he doesn't show it off as much in AEW. But
which was Santino
if they're
too.
saving Orange Cassidy is a much better athlete than Santino, but they're
Have you
saving.
seen Santino's earlier stuff before he
when
became
was-
Santino? When he
before
was
when he was thinner. No, it's
Yeah,
not in
he was
not
a lot better.
but nowhere near in comparison to the things that Orange Cassidy do.
I don't know about that. I think
Said,
they're similar.
Orange Cassidy on the indie scene, yes, absolutely, versus Kylie Ray. Yeah, Orange Cassidy is capable, and it's not in the traditional sense. You got to look at what he's doing, and it's more interesting to see, oh, wow, he's not using pockets, or he got up to the top rope with his hands in his pockets without using hands. That's, it's kind of crazy when you think about it. It's like, well, I didn't think to do that, but...
Base up, you're 100% right, and so are you, Smart Killer. 100% right.
Should Sammy turn face? I think he's better as a face than a heel.
I think he's a great heel.
A lot of people,
I think he's a great heel, but I do think he's a better babyface. He's a good underdog babyface. But they have that in Daniel Bryan already, so. And yeah.
Well, my thing is that I think Sami Zayn is one of the two best salesmen in the company. I think he sells better than him and Dolph Ziggler are two guys I think sell better than anybody.
Johnny Gargano is up there too.
Fair enough. I wasn't counting NXT. But Johnny Gargano is up there. And not for nothing. So
Ricochet. Ricochet
can Tommaso Ciampa, I put
Oh,
above
yeah,
Ricochet.
Ciampa, absolutely. Ciampa can sell his ass off.
So these guys are like, and I want him as a sympathetic babyface because I think he sells better. I think he sells much better as a babyface because he can build that sympathy because of how well he sells. With Sami Zayn, he is being punished. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. I think that Vince...
I think he might be hurt. Secretly, and
that may be one thing, but he is wrestling periodically.
But I think his bump card is nearing its max.
Yeah, I also think that that Vince sees something in Sammy that not a lot of people do, and I think that he's got like this idea about him.
List.
I think that might be a piece of it, but I think he's got this idea of him saying, "Man, this guy is annoying." I think that Sami Zayn in real life, and people have actually said this, Sammy's kind of an annoying person in real life.
Cornette has said it.
Right. So, and that's the thing. Vince, I think, saw it and was like, "Let's put this guy on TV." And I think he realizes that by making him a mouthpiece for somebody who might not be getting the same chance, it might be enhancing them. I think that eventually we'll see him go babyface. We'll see him get a decent run.
It only hurts me, especially because I think Cesaro and Sami Zayn, like that NXT match at the
Oh,
first
my
takeover,
God,
is one of the best matches of the decade. For me.
I
It's
agree.
one of my favorite matches. And plus, on top of that, Nakamura and Sami was another amazing match at Takeover in Dallas. And it's like, oh, great. Two guys I love watching Sami Zayn wrestle. Yeah, he's managing them.
I know.
Speaking of Gargano and Ciampa, is NXT missing the great storytelling? That by far there was going to be a fall off. There's no way you're going to follow that up.
And like in all honesty, like I think that they've done a decent job with some of it. They're just doing it with Dakota Kai and Tegan Knox. I don't think people care.
No, it looks like they're aborting that. I think they're bowing out of it. They're not showing that they're backing that storyline up anymore.
They're having a match.
But the Rumble, it was like non-existent. They didn't bring it up at all.
She's still a heel.
Tegan Knox was just there. It was like they
came out at different. Like they just didn't
matter.
interact.
They didn't bring it up at all. It's like when the Rumble comes out, you bring up everybody's storyline.
Yeah, I know.
It's a great opportunity.
I think they dropped it. I think they said something along the lines of.
I feel like Tegan Knox was just there.
I think they said it when Dakota came out. I don't think they said it when Tegan did. I think you're right.
By the way, Tegan Knox looked phenomenal in the Rumble. She was like,
Tegan Knox is.
Yeah, she's always pretty, but I was like,
no, she's like a knockout. Like I didn't realize
I thought she looked amazing in the Rumble.
She got her Rumble number tattooed behind her ear.
Cesaro's never going to sniff the main event title. No, I know that, base up. I don't think he will. I think he should. I don't think he will.
I wish he would too.
There was something. What do you think, guys, of Danhausen? I think he's got a decent future. Yeah. Hopefully. Hopefully. Mikey and Spike can sell too. Spike Dudley, I'm not counting. He's not in the company right now. And
exactly.
Mikey Whipwreck is not in the company right now.
Exactly. Mikey was a great seller, though.
That's all he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Based up, I'm not going to horribly disagree with you. Tony Storm is unreal.
I saw somebody said this on Twitter, and I think he might have overstated it, but he said, I just saw this on Twitter. I didn't see the rest of the comments. I just saw this one thing come up, and the guy says, "Yo, give it up. Tony Storm is not that hot." That's all I saw, and I just started laughing. That's all I said. I don't know the context.
I don't know, that guy's
that's
crazy.
All that guy's. I think she's pretty. But I'm the same way. I don't think she's that pretty.
Different strokes for different folks.
She's pretty. Just not. Like I'm not. Yeah. I think Tegan Knox is prettier than Tony Storm. Throw it right there.
I mean, look, that's your opinion.
Right out there. D'Lo Brown, no, I think Tony Storm's pretty good in D'Lo.
I think so too. Although D'Lo Brown was good in the ring, but how did that happen?
I don't know. He just said it.
No,
I know.
how,
I know. I
yeah,
don't know. I
how
don't
does
know.
it
That's
happen?
what they do
All the time.
I
though.
think. It's weird. I think we're on earlier than we think we are, and they're just hearing our conversations.
Maybe.
Wait. Tony Tegan Knox is one. Oh, right. Sorry, I completely read that wrong. Tony and Low over.
EO.
Oh, EO. Right.
Yeah. So that's another I think feud that like they gave up on too quick that had a lot of steam. EO and Candice.
Man.
Yeah.
Candice as a whole, they've been booking terribly.
Yeah, I agree.
I will say that Rhea Ripley was booked well. Do we have the long-term storytelling that Tommaso Ciampa and Gargano have? No. But they're not going to have that anymore. I would say, though...
It's going to be really hard to ever top that.
I would say keep your eye on Undisputed Era.
Yeah.
I do think the next really big long-term story that they tell
is Roderick Strong and Adam Cole.
And I think it's gonna happen sooner rather than later.
Yeah,
I could be wrong, but
with Strong losing the title and with them going with them needing something big to pop ratings.
Now there is an old writing adage which I think NXT has always done very well, and that's give the audience. And this is for film as well, but it's and stories just in general. But it's give the audience what they want, just not how they expect it.
Yeah,
if you can do that, and that's what they've done classically. Like, did we want DIY breakup? Secretly, yeah, we're all sadistic, awful people. We wanted them to split up. We wanted to see that split.
And we wanted to see them split because we also knew that they had potential as single stars.
And and then we wanted to see them as single stars, and then we also wanted them back.
Yeah,
and NXT gave it all to us. And then they gave it to us in ways that we weren't expecting. Like when Johnny turned heel and repartnered up temporarily, nobody expected that. Like,
and I love.
Yes, I know. Some of you guys called it in the live stream, but I'm saying if you went a month before they even planted the seeds for, 3 months before that, in the beginning of the feud, you didn't think it would go that way.
No, they hated each other to death.
Yeah,
we watched them destroy each other in front of our eyes at Takeover.
Like at the night that Johnny got turned on by Tommaso Ciampa, I worded that in the weirdest order. The night Tommaso Ciampa turned on Johnny Gargano, if I told you they're gonna both turn heel and reteam as DIY, you would look at me like, what?
No, they wouldn't. No, they're not. Yeah.
Yeah. So I know some of you predicted it later on, but but nonetheless, good for you guys because that was harder to do. So, but yeah, that's typically that's what really good writing can be. Mm-hmm. I want Eric Young. Eric Young, I forget that he's even there. Do you think burying of Zack Ryder in 2010-2011 was just to see if he will fight for himself? I think so.
No.
I covered that one in an episode of Wrestling Regret with Brian Zane where we talked about Zack Ryder.
Zack Ryder
check
getting
that episode out. And awesome. Brian Zane, Wrestling with Regret.
And also, the thing about Ryder, I cover this a lot on a lot of videos I do on the Slam Sessions Network right here on YouTube. Zack Ryder was unfortunately the person who got the low ratings taken out on.
And Mr. J Jr., yes, that.
Sure, that does sound good. But there was an opening promo with Punk, Ryder, and Daniel Bryan, which everybody was internet's wet dream, and nobody watched it. It was like this opening to Raw that it got horrible ratings. And
it's the same thing I was talking about Edge. I gotta look at those numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
I pointed that out at the when I was on the Royal Ramble radio show, and I pointed that out too. One of the comments on their listener side said it's something I've already addressed a million times here, but just to reiterate, when people talk about how ratings may not be accurate, I'm like, it doesn't matter because the people who sell the commercial, who give you money for commercials, they don't care.
Right.
That's
100%.
what they're going on.
Yeah.
I'll be the first one to admit that the system of commercial and ad revenue is flawed. It's not perfect. Is there a better system? Who knows? But it's what we have right now. And regardless to how you feel about it, in the context of it, you have to look at it this way, and you have to realize what you're working with. That was always confused me. A 6-man match. It is one person's fault.
So Michael, they blamed it on Ryder because the other two guys were one main event title. So who gets the blame? You blame the guy who has the lower title. Vince probably didn't want to push in the first place, but let's face it, it was Survivor Series. During the Rock's promo, people are chanting, "We want Ryder." Vince couldn't ignore it, so he put the belt on him probably just to destroy him.
Ron Hawthorne, cute observation about Aleister Black in Utah, although I get where you're coming from.
I think Aleister Black's over everywhere. But
no, he means his weird culty like darkness stuff.
Oh, that totally makes. Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point.
I would not have put that together myself. Jason Oliver, though. Interesting point I do want to bring up. I think Rhea should go over, and the reason why is we know from Survivor Series, if you hype NXT enough and make them a credible player, it will do wonders. It does Charlotte no favors if she winds up winning that title and moving to NXT. It really doesn't. It really is not the best maneuver. But if she puts Rhea over, I think we have enough equity built into Charlotte that if that transfers and lets Charlotte really take on that role of getting other people over, I think it would help NXT. And at this point in time, let's not pretend like NXT doesn't need it. They've been losing consistently.
Yeah. And to a less superior AEW product. Look, I'll put it out there right now. I'm disappointed in AEW. And I've said this.
I am currently, but their pay-per-view, I mean, it's been a while since we had a pay-per-view. But
which is good. I like that.
It is, but
we don't need a monthly
pay-per-views
pay-per-view.
have been good. Like, the last pay-per-view was really good, I think. I think it's, I think they're entertaining. I think they're enjoyable. I like their pay-per-views. From a weekly product, there's some things I like. There's some things I don't. But yeah, as a whole, they're not living up to their potential. And here's the biggest thing. Cody has admitted that they have problems and that they're learning, which they are. And
that's great. And I'm cool with that.
And they are showing improvement. That's the biggest thing. Where WWE, I think they're showing improvement. Where WWE, it's been years, and I'm still waiting, guys. Still waiting.
I don't know. I don't like. Look, I'm really mad about the tag team division. I think that the tag team division was one of the things that sold me on AEW, and they treated it like an afterthought.
Yeah. And I'm not the biggest tag team guy, so I'm kind of happy that the tag team stuff is kind of being.
But their women's division is
atrocious. I said the other day the problem I have Britt Baker making a slight heel turn. Well, I don't necessarily am against a heel having a right point of view. I feel like you got to give the good guys something because Britt Baker's 100% right about everything she's saying.
Yeah.
The company that division was built around her.
Yeah.
She's there all the time.
She was the first person announced, the first woman announced to be signed with the exception of Cody's wife.
Yeah, and it's what
come
are
on.
they doing with this? So it's like, what is Riho's unless you flip it where Britt Baker's they're trying to make her a Becky Lynch style good guy, and
maybe.
But Riho is not going to convince anybody as a heel when she weighs 8 pounds. And if she stays a good guy, what's her counter argument to that? What can she possibly say to that? Because everything Britt's saying is right. And Britt should have been the first champion.
And not for nothing.
Britt should have been the first champion.
And not for nothing, Britt Baker's finish is a heel finish.
Now, allegedly, though, I heard this all has to do with Kenny Omega. Did you hear about this?
No, I did not, actually.
This is just rumor and innuendo.
All right, so some conjecture. Let's see.
But what I heard was Kenny's original goal was to be getting rid of this idea that he's the best wrestler in the world. And he wanted to go on a continual losing streak and just really lose a lot. And then he was also one of the founding guys really behind the booking of the women's division. With Riho, as people have speculated as to why, I'm not going there. But because of the women's division,
are they
perceived? Some people have said yes, and that's why she has the title. Some people have claimed that. Whether that's true or not, who knows?
Wow, a lot of hate for Britt Baker on this chat, huh? Wow.
I think that's crazy. I like Britt Baker.
Degenerate and Jason Oliver, both very negative.
I don't see how that's true, but okay. But anyway, so allegedly, with the perceived failure of the women's division so far, and with the perceived idea that one of your biggest stars is just booked to lose, that's stupid. It's not working. Tony Khan has actually wrestled power away from Kenny Omega, and his role is significantly diminished at this point. Again. Just rumor and innuendo. Rumor and innuendo. Rumor and innuendo. Don't know. Rumor and innuendo. Rumor and
And
innuendo.
if that's the case, smart. But I also don't like the fact of. It bothers me that. See, look. Here's the thing. Yes, was Vince a wrestling fan when he took over the business from his father? Sure, but Vince was also a businessman. His entire life, Vince was a businessman. Tony Khan is a businessman, but I think he's too much of a mark for the business. And I think that's going to hurt AEW. I think that it's going to appease it for a really long time. I think it's going to appease AEW to that niche audience.
I don't get it. I think Britt Baker's a good performer.
So do I. I don't get it.
Like
yeah.
I mean, but if you want to tell me that a dentist is a natural heel, then, well, I'm not going to argue.
Her finish is such a heel finish. I mean, she's trying to rip, like...
Well, she's a dentist, so...
Right.
You want to say that they're evil and, fine. I get it.
I don't think she's being forced at all. She was the face of the women's division, and she's barely even wrestled on the show.
Sniffed the title.
Yeah.
Sniffed the title in like the title picture. Who knows how long?
Oh, apparently Kenny's dating Rio's mentor. Well, whatever.
I know. Look.
Whatever it is.
The rumors about their relationship. Look, I'm not getting into what it is or what it is not. As I said, there are reports about one thing or another. I don't know what it is. It could be any of these things. It could be all of them. I don't know. I'm not getting involved in it.
And look, here's the thing.
I said because Dennis, or evil.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it.
Terry James and WWE Survivor to Vince, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. Because Vince knows a lot more than he ever gives credit for. Vince only gets criticized for the wrong moves he makes and doesn't get credit for all the right moves he makes. So, yeah, it's going to be difficult. I don't know if Triple H, Stephanie, and Shane, all three of them, all of their acumen makes up to what Vince has.
I saw some again, these are more rumors, but I saw reports that it's just going to be Shane getting it.
And if that's the case, I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing.
I think it's good.
You just don't like Triple H and Stephanie.
No, but Triple H. But look at it this way. Who's the only one that has CEO experience outside of WWE?
Sure, 100% that's Shane McMahon. You're 100% right.
And a much bigger company.
Right. But if you really want to get technical, Triple H is like the NXT CEO. I'm sure he's not running. He's not running up a lot of those things up the flagpole.
Who understands?
What did Shane do? I agree.
Shane worked in media.
I agree. I'm not disagreeing with that.
WWE.
You're 100% right there.
He has more experience as a CEO, as a media, as well as being involved in media and the wrestling business. And Triple H is definitely the biggest worker out of them. But Shane's no stranger to the ring either, even though it's to the dismay of some fans. The thing is, I just look at Shane as he has more of the tools.
I think that wrestling-wise, Triple H is but that's the thing.
Okay.
Here's the other thing. I think wrestling-wise, because somebody brought it up, Shane doesn't have as much wrestling experience as Triple H.
No,
you know why?
he doesn't.
That's fine. That's better.
Neither does Vince.
Exactly my point. Exactly my point.
Right.
And that's the thing. Vince built, didn't have as much experience, but Vince, and this is one thing everybody will say about Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon will look at a character and say, "That's good.
Yeah.
Let's do this." And then all of a sudden, it takes a mediocre character to being a superstar. He has this.
And neither did Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
Triple H has more experience than Paul Heyman.
Right.
Vince McMahon and Shane combined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Angel Garza is on Raw. That's interesting.
Cool. See, so this might seem controversial, and I'm not saying it one way or the other, but I'm throwing this question out there. If you look at wrestling promotions historically, you can almost make the argument that workers' booking does not always work.
Yeah.
Or that the times it's worked has been outweighed by the times that it doesn't. And I don't know where I stand on this one.
Right, and here's the thing. It's like, all right, you want to talk about WCW? Well, when Eric Bischoff came up, who was not, who was a commentator on AWA, really didn't have a lot of wrestling experience, came up with the NWO, it was the biggest storyline in the world. When Kevin Sullivan booked the show, it was atrocious. And that's the difference. When Vince McMahon takes over WWE and he starts expanding and coming up with these really big, grandiose ideas, everybody told him he was crazy. All the wrestling people told him he was crazy. And who was the last guy standing?
It's like, I like the idea of a booker working for the boys, supporting the boys, taking care of the boys. I think it's very important.
And if that's what Triple H is doing in NXT, then kudos to him.
And I do think that someone who knows how to walk a mile in your shoes, being in charge, knows how it feels.
I completely agree with that.
And that's important. However, you just look at the biggest bookers out there. Again, your Vinces, your Heymans, your Bischoffs. And I'm not even a fan of Bischoffs. But just per se, I like some of his ideas, but I'm not, I don't, like them all. But, your Cornette, and I know Cornette was trained and Cornette had some experience. But they're not really one of the workers. I've also gotten this debate before, too, with people in the industry, where you say, when is somebody one of the boys? Some people say, did you train? Did you have a match? Then you are one of the boys. I'm like,
no, that's not true.
Someone says David Arquette is one of the boys. I'm like, he is absolutely not.
Maybe now.
No, someone said before.
No. When he was in WCW,
I say never. I say he's never going to be.
He trained and he actually did wrestle and stuff like that. I'll give him more now.
But some people say it's like you go to the dance once, that's enough. You are one of the boys from now on. Then there are other people who have said that, no, it's got to be, X amount of time period and all that. So it depends. It's one of those things. But all in all, I do feel that there is a difference between somebody who trained as Jim Cornette has versus somebody who has trained like Seth Rollins or whoever, or AJ Styles.
Okay, there you go.
I think there is a difference between these,
right.
You got to acknowledge that. And so when it's on this side of the line, I think those bookers tend to have a better track record than the other way around. Like Kevin Nash booking, and I'm not like a lot of people on the internet. I actually like Kevin Nash.
So do I.
Yeah. I will admit that he can't wrestle. I'm not saying that he can't.
And that's the other thing. Kevin Nash was in an unenviable position because he had to take care of the boys, but he also had to protect the business. While he's booking...
But it's convenient that when you have the book, you break Goldberg's streak.
So now the thing is
it's
that...
really convenient. That was the right time to end it.
It was.
Absolutely
It was. It was very
I'm
convenient.
questioning the guy.
So the thing is that what Kevin Nash has stated over and over
Not
again...
saying it's
and
bad.
I don't know if this is true or not, that he took the book after that, not prior to that. And maybe that's the case, and maybe it's not. But it's just
you want to
right
talk about
around.
interesting timing?
Yeah.
That's
interesting timing. 100% yes.
And it also is weird to me because you took a guy who, unfortunately, his reputation as a world champion had followed him around for his entire career.
Yeah.
That he was allegedly the lowest grossing champion in WWE. I don't think that's true anymore, but whatever.
He might still be.
He might still be.
But
I can't see how. But even still, you would take that guy and have him break Goldberg's streak. On paper, what are you thinking?
Right. But by the
Not saying you couldn't come up with that.
But
I'm just saying, why would you do that?
He was super over at that point. He was.
And I'm not talking, again, I like Kevin Nash. I'm not even saying the decision was necessarily bad. I'm just questioning the timing of it. It just seems interesting to me. Because
just thinking about it, the build to Drew McIntyre versus Brock is very similar to the Kevin Nash Goldberg build.
Brock has lost.
No, yeah, true. But I'm just saying, just the way Drew is being built.
And Drew is a significantly better wrestler.
Oh, of course he is. But I'm saying he was like this mediocre mid card.
No, you didn't.
Sometimes he'd win, sometimes he'd lose kind of guy, which is what Kevin Nash was for a lot of time in WCW. He wasn't a top tier main event star up until that point. Then he dominated World War III and got the shot at Goldberg. Now Drew was a half and half guy, dominates the Royal Rumble, and now gets a shot at Brock. It's a similar. I mean, but all wrestling is cyclical. So
base up. I'm not trying to knock Paul Heyman. I'm just trying to say that if you want to divide the wrestling world into management and workers, which side of the line turns out the best head bookers, or which side tends to have more success rates, seems to be more management style, or not managers. I just realized that means something else. But I mean like desk people,
Right. And that's the thing. Vince and Paul Heyman. Look at those two guys who booked promotions fantastically. They weren't workers.
I understand Paul Heyman knows a lot about the business. I'm not trying to say he doesn't. I'm just
so does Vince.
To find that land. Well, yeah.
But it doesn't mean that they have to be in the ring in order to do so.
So base up, you're not. You might be trolling just a stir, and I might be falling for it. But either way, Brock and McIntyre is better than Nash.
Of course it is. Of course it is. I'm just saying.
He's talking about the story.
The story booking. Yeah, I'm not saying it's anything. I'm not saying it's better. Lord knows it ain't.
I say it was bad. Things started going downhill the second Goldberg lost that match.
I disagree.
Yeah, I think they started going downhill at Starrcade 1997, but whatever.
And if you really want to put a pinpoint on that, it wasn't Goldberg losing his title. It was the next night with the freaking Poke of Doom that did a lot worse for the WCW than Goldberg losing.
Yeah.
Hogan's a cancer.
Anyway, is it more important for the moveset to match the character? Terry James, I think the moveset should absolutely match the character. I think it works. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes you get some interesting turnarounds. Sometimes you get movesets that don't reflect the character, and they are surprisingly good, or they surprisingly work a lot better than you would expect them to. Like Kevin Owens, I said, Kevin Steen, whatever you want to call him. His moveset, I don't think, has always reflected his character, but it works. Especially in Ring of Honor. His mean, tough, big guy attitude, but then you get him doing things like 450s or a lot of like fancy moves that you don't see coming out of him. I think kind of work to make it better, even though it didn't really match the character. So I think they should, but every once in a while you can be surprised, pleasantly surprised, might I add. Or Keith Lee, for example. Keith Lee's moveset does not fit his character, but it works. Vader had no business doing a moonsault. Another example. Heyman has pretty much does as much as a lot of wrestlers that he took bumps in the rings. It's not the same thing. And face up, now I know you're trolling. Now you're just trying to get there. With wrestlers than Vince and Eric Bischoff do. Now I know you're trolling. Okay, is it only me or Pedigree is one of the best finishers ever? I think it's a solid finisher. I don't think it's one of the best ever. I really don't like. I really didn't like it when it started becoming letting go of the arms and they were allowed to block their faces. The rock sell. I kind of thought it was that was kind of the beginning of the end for me. And I kind of feel that the cure done by Scotty Riggs is better than the pedigree. I think the way Scotty Riggs does it is better. Do something about it. Does Cena's later moveset fit him? No, I don't think it did. I liked it. I preferred it. I was glad that he did it, but no, I don't think it fit him. Like the Cena Kanrana, I don't think fit him. I don't fit it. I don't think it fit him. I didn't think it fit the character. Neither did the Springboard Stunner. I like that he did it because he was showing off that he could do these things. Now, granted, it was a little botchy when he started, and it took him a while before he really nailed it. But still, just glad that he was showing off. He was adding things to his repertoire. I thought that was nice. Wish he executed them a little bit better in the beginning. I wish it was as polished as it was in the end. But also, the moves he picked in particular, I don't think reflected his moveset. Actually, I like agile, heavy-set wrestlers. No, I do too. But I don't think everybody can do that or else it loses its luster. Some big men just have to be big men. Base Up says, Dave, Ashley, read what I'm saying. I'm saying Paul Heyman has far more in common with bookers who are ex-wrestlers than guys like Vince and Eric Bischoff. Dude, I am reading what you're saying. I'm not reading it out loud because I think it's asinine. I don't think you mean that. And if you do, I'm sorry. But this is why I believe you are straight up trolling. Stop it. I'm on to your game. Is Canadian Destroyer being overused right now? Yes. Absolutely it is. I think so. I'm on to your game now, Base Up. You're not tricking me. Yes. That was a move that has definitely been dug into the ground. Then, Dave, you are... yeah, as a manager, he has taken bumps. You can't tell me he's more of a Paul Heyman. All of his years of experience compounded, or his promo, because that's not what we're talking about. It's not the same thing. And I think you're just getting me to fall for it again. But you cannot tell me Paul Heyman is more of a worker than Shane McMahon. And if you think that, I'm sorry, you're just wrong. Not common. Yeah, Degenerate, I agree. Like the DDT and the super kick. Yes, those moves definitely. Well, maybe not to that extent because... But the DDT is, I think, making a resurgence as a finisher. I think it's coming back a little bit. WWE style? Maybe. Is it being more overused than the suicide dive or the super kick? No, Richard Lee. I mean, did matches. He did matches, but not like Shane and not as many as Shane. It's nowhere close. Stop, Harry Flynn. Stop. Physical athletic edition, body definition. In what realm was Heyman ever in the condition that Shane was? Joining creative team for W. Yeah, of course I would love to. I think about it. I have applied for it. Yeah. Can you believe that the Luthez press is less common than a DDT? That's interesting. It's interesting to me, too, now that you mention it. Although I'm not the biggest Luthez press fan. I think it worked for Luthez. I like that Austin kind of brought it back and incorporated it into his roster. But it's an awkward move to me, I think. To do it right, it's kind of awkward. Because if you ever... it's... You know, again, professional wrestling should be done by professionals only. But to do it right, or at least to make it visually, it's like you shouldn't just jump on top of your opponent and fall down. That's clunky looking. To do it right, both of you guys have to jump at the same time and then kind of get that arc, and that looks a lot better. But it's harder to do. Like, it's a need. I feel like it's one of those needlessly hard moves to pull off because of the precision timing that goes into it. So, and like, I don't like it. It's not, as far as I know, it's not really a dangerous move, but I think I think the amount of effort that goes into it doesn't really beget what you get out of it. Base Up. I'm not talking about Shane in considering Shane and Paul Heyman, but both their own experience, own categories, guys with some business experience. Yeah, I know they have some experience. I'm not saying that he doesn't, but there is no way Paul Heyman is on the worker side of the line. If you drew an imaginary line separating everybody into one or two categories, either writers or wrestlers, Heyman is not on the wrestler side of things. Saying that, I think Base Up is just trying to say he deserves more credit than you're giving him. You win, Base Up. You got me again. Okay, fine. All right. It's a crime. It's a travesty. Paul Heyman should have headlined WrestleMania. I mean, what are you trying to talk about here? All I said was, you have two categories, split them up into one or the other. You know where Paul Heyman's going. That is not an asinine statement whatsoever, and you done got me, you done told me in, even though I'm aware of your nonsense. Sometimes, unlike guys like Vince McMahon and Eric Bischoff, it doesn't matter. He still shares their turf. He's still on their side of the line, base up. You win again, trolly troll. Arthur, you can learn something from him. I hate you, base up. You didn't win enough on Friday. And shut up, Arthur. Stop taking his back. Hurricane Rana and the Frankensteiner are mostly the same. Yeah, see, here's the weird thing. The Frankensteiner used to be different. It stopped becoming different, but it was different once upon a time. Where's Albert? I don't know. He's here now.
I'm back.
He's back. Where is Prince Albert? You're Prince Albert now.
This is good looking as a prince, so I'll give you that.
Heyman would never be confused with Bret Hart. Thank you, Arthur. That's all I'm saying. Base Up is still trolling his way into this one. Don't read it. I know, Jason Oliver. Base Up, that's why he's the king troll around here. Eating all the billy goats as they try to cross the bridge or whatever that, Yeah, you're right, Jason. Base Up just...
We still talking about this?
He wouldn't stop. I told him I'm calling him out on it, and he just wouldn't stop. And eventually he got his way. Because he's a butthole.
Oh, Mysterio versus Angel Garza on Raw. That's a good one.
It doesn't matter what side of the line, how close they are to the line. I said put them on one side or the other. That's the end of the conversation. Base Up, you are a butt. Get him a water, man.
Oh, man. It's really nice to see that Base Up you can actually get Dave riled up. It makes me feel so good because usually that's what everybody does to me. I saw Dave Meltzer at Walmart, so I went up to him and said, "My name is Albert," and punched him in the face. And what happened, Richard Lee? What happened? Please tell me the end. Did you use my last name? You could have used my last name. It's totally okay. I would have taken it.
Oh, yeah. Did you want to tell them about the Tessa story? Did you want on social media?
Oh, so this is a funny story, guys. So I'm on a random...
Stop clapping for him, Samurai Productions!
I'm on a random Facebook website. I don't remember what group it was. It's some random wrestling group on Facebook. And
I don't troll, real quick. I don't troll back because trolls are the lowest form of internet existence.
Fair. Richard Lee, you ran away laughing? That's fair. Just I hope you use my last name. So he said he saw Dave Meltzer in Walmart and punched him in the face and said it was me. I said, I hope you use my last name. It's just rare for me to see you mad. It's true. It's very, very rare to see Dave get that way, and I think that's great. Arthur Pryor...
Not rare enough.
Eric Bischoff told a story about how Dave Meltzer on the Jericho cruise came up to sit next to Booker T, and Booker T looked at him and basically told him to get the F out, and he just walked away like a sad little child.
Sorry to cut you off on again, but before you tell the story. But Elmer from Monday Night Raw has said he has noticed that my anger has tier levels, and his favorite one is the last one because he says this is what I do. I escalate levels, and going from mildly annoyed and then eventually to insultingly mad. That's when I start insulting. But he says my final level of mad is when I'm so mad. I just stop and just don't react whatsoever. I've gone back to calm again, and I don't say anything.
Yeah, it's just like it's just like a no sell to that point because you're so angry.
Well, you've seen Sergio on this chat, and he's on the improv episode. Sergio, he used to make me he's one of the guys who has made me madder than anybody. And Elmer would say that he goes one day Sergio's going to make him Dave so mad that Dave's just going to start yelling, but then he's going to stop, and then just sit there and go. Go to the store, come back when ingredients and bake a cake, and just give him the cake and go, congratulations. He goes, that's
fair.
He says that will.
That's really fair.
Elmer predicts one day that'll happen. I'll get so mad that I stop yelling and I just go and I bake a cake to congratulate the guy. Now tell the story. Sorry.
So I'm on a random Facebook group, and people are talking about the Tessa Blanchard situation, and I'm arguing back and forth with a certain guy, and we're going back and forth about it. How and he's very much white knighting Tessa, and nothing she ever can do is wrong. And I bring this up all the time, and this is something I brought up. If you really want me to dig really deep into it, and you really want to hear my opinions on it, Slam Sessions Network on YouTube, my latest video, Ripping the Net, I discussed the whole Tessa Blanchard situation. One thing that I say is that a lot of people, without much proof, ripped the Great Moolah's name off the Battle Royal, but with the same amount of proof, they're defending Tessa Blanchard. So, and they're like, we need to see proof. It didn't happen if we didn't see proof. Well, you didn't get proof from anybody in the Moolah situation, and you got her name ripped off a Battle Royal. But whatever. So anyway, we're going back and forth, back and forth.
To be fair, it was actually Snickers that got her name ripped off at the Battle Royal.
Well, because of the negative backlash.
Fair.
But it was a negative backlash from the fans that did it. But anyway, Tessa admitted it off air. See, there you go. Boom. Anyway.
On air, she's also denied it, so what do you got?
Right. And anyway, in under another comment where somebody made another comment, this same guy who I was going back and forth with mentioned something about it, and the guy threw Dave's video, the most recent honest promo about Tessa Blanchard, up there and said, "Here, watch this. This should show you what's right." And I commented, I said, "Yeah, watch that video."
True.
And make sure you also watch the live stream on Monday night, too, and put a little winky face. So I'm kind of hoping that person came in today. I really hope that they saw me and were like, oh, God damn it.
For all we know, it's Michael Obama, or...
Maybe it is.
Or his base up.
I hope it's
something dirty he would do. And Ben Espinosa, yeah, the Frankensteiner and the Conrana were separate moves. But later in commentary, they just started calling them the same thing.
Yeah, they were. The Scott Steiner Frankensteiner is a completely different move than a Hurricane Rana. Nobody else does a Frankensteiner like Scott Steiner ever did, though. That's the difference. Is Kofi to the WWE what Ron Simmons was to the WCW title, where the achievement was more memorable than the run was?
Have this one. Have all yours, buddy.
Historically, I think he's 100% on the nose. I don't remember besides Cactus Jack. I don't remember anybody that Ron Simmons defended the title against, and I'm actually struggling, with the exception of Randy Orton, to remember.
But what achievement? What achievement is he referring to?
Actually, yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. Kofi's WWE title run wasn't historic at all. I mean, it was a great moment for African Americans, but there have been multiple heavyweight champions in WWE who are African American. One of them being The Rock. So he wasn't the first, guys. Sorry if that's what you're going for. You're 100% right, Dave. You're 100% right. I don't know why I didn't think of that. You're 100% right. Thank you.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I just know he does.
I still want to know where I'm wrong. The Rock is black, right? The Rock is African American and Samoan. I don't know where the Canadian comes in there. Is he related to the Harts, and I wasn't sure about that?
You got me. I hate you. I hate you, Pisa.
Why, is that something between you two?
No, he's just being dumb.
It's fair.
He has like two kinds of trolls. He has the one where he's really trying to get me angry. Then he has other ones that are so asinine he knows I'm going to laugh at it.
That's fair. Oh, Rocky Johnson's Canadian, apparently.
Yeah, but that...
So that makes him part
No,
Canadian.
that's not...
Well, maybe you meant Rocky Johnson is...
No, he didn't. Well, then you made a cameo on one of Albert's videos on his YouTube channel. Yeah, I definitely did.
Yeah, you did.
Why wouldn't I have? Isn't it like common sense that I would have?
He was on my first ever video, which ironically still has the second most views on my channel. The most views is the less than a minute clip from when I asked Alexa Bliss a question at WrestleMania Access. Which,
oh, yeah.
Look.
Of course.
Look.
If I was going to lose someone, might as well be my future wife.
There you go. The Rock is from Venezuela. Is he? I don't even know that. The Rock is half African Canadian and half Samoan, but was born in America.
I am confused.
That makes ridiculously good sense. But yeah, that's the other thing. And I don't care what anybody says.
Well, the fans are telling you to do a reset.
The Slam Sessions Network right here on YouTube. Please go watch and subscribe. So the other thing that I'm subscribed to the idea, and Dave doesn't, and a lot of other people don't, but Booker T, Mark Henry, both a world heavyweight champion in the WWE, their reigns count. I don't care what anybody says, it counts.
Big gold belt don't count. Sorry.
That doesn't make any sense.
It has at times. Like, I think the top title in WWE has changed.
Thank you, Ben Espinosa.
And
I
I do
appreciate
intend
that.
I do intend to do an episode talking about this more. So I'm not going to.
Harry Flynn has a
talk about it
YouTube
too
channel, guys.
I don't want to talk about it too much, but there is. I feel it's changed where Albert says he doesn't feel that way.
Yeah, I absolutely don't. I think that if
Yeah, we both live in America.
We do?
Rock is Dominican. No,
but that's the thing. That's what I don't understand.
they're really running with this.
Yeah. Why do they? Why do we choose to recognize certain people as? So if that's the case, then Dolph Ziggler was never a WWE champion.
That's correct.
But we acknowledge him as winning a world title in WWE. So why does that count? But Booker T and Mark Henry don't. Oh, there you go. Terry James just pulled from a very reliable source. I'm assuming it's going to be Wikipedia. That Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is an American-Canadian actor, producer, investor, and retired professional wrestler. This is it.
I'm getting close. Yeah.
Yeah, this is it. Yes,
We're
Dolph won.
blurring nationality with ethnicity. When we're talking about The Rock and his ethnic background for the championship, that's what we're talking about. There is a difference, okay?
Oh, they got you, Dave. They got you.
And one more.
Oh, they got you. They got you, Dave, and I love it. Oh, he's Irish, Dave. Oh, boy. So anyway, that's my thing. No, Dolph was the WWE Heavyweight Champion, and he's recognized as a WWE World Heavyweight Champion. So I don't understand how that means. So if you want to say that, Kofi Kingston is the first full black competitor to you can't even say African American because he's Guyanese, which
He lives in America. I'd say he's an American.
but he's Guyanese.
No, I get it.
He's not African.
Oh, right. Sorry.
So he's not even an African American, which is a very overused term that which is why if you ask
That's my question. Like in England, like what do you call them? Then? Like that's what
That's my point.
I do have several questions about the term.
And I don't believe that term. And I don't know who in this chat is African American. I know that my friends, when I talk to them,
Yeah.
and I ask them, they're like, no, black is fine.
Right.
Like, that's not offensive. Black. Bobo Brazil was never world champion in WWF.
Hey,
The reign isn't recognized.
right.
The reign's not recognized. The reign's not recognized. And yes, The Rock is still the first one because, yes, he is still black. His father was black. Just because his mother happened to be Samoan doesn't make him any less of a black man. He's still black.
Right.
So that's my thing. And that's where I get mad.
Here's the thing for me. I brought this up to make you mad, and all that's happened is I got mad.
I know, it's great.
This is not gone.
In all honesty, this has been a great live stream. I actually told Dave that I'm not going to be like as animated as usually am. I had a rough night last night. I didn't even drink that much. I just had a very long day and night and a very long day today. And I have a horrible headache, so I kind of thought I wasn't going to be too animated. But you guys got Dave all worked up today, so thank you guys.
Yeah, as if I didn't suffer enough on Friday.
Oh, The Rock's part Mexican. Did you know that? Okay, Degenerate, thank you. It doesn't matter. And that's the thing. And Ron Hawthorne says he prefers black for himself.
Yeah,
and
that's the thing. That's what my friends say too.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know. I know that there was part of a politically correct thing.
I have never met anyone who was black who said, whoa, excuse me. I'm African American. Don't call me that.
Yeah.
I've never met. I'm not saying they don't exist. Maybe someone out there does feel that way. But the people I know, no one has ever said that to me.
But so it's funny because I had actually, and the reason why I brought the Guyanese thing is that my friend Andrew is Guyanese as well, and I one time I had said something, I was like, well, African Americans, and he was like, stop that, I'm not. He's like, I'm not from Africa.
Harry got it. All right, you topped everybody. You just won.
Oh, that's good. See, here's the thing. The champ, I'm hoping that, I know that they paired him with Zelina. I hope that this doesn't mean that they're going to just push Andrade and Angel Garza as a tag team now. I hope they keep them separately.
Well, they got to use Selena for somebody.
You're
For
right.
the next 30 days, or whatever, or 20-something days.
That's fine. I'm okay with her representing somebody else.
Personally, I really wish they put her in the women's division.
I would too, but I just don't want her off my television.
See, here's the issue.
Oh, The Rock's the last son from Krypton. Did you know that?
Space up, stop trying to steal Harry Flynn's mo. All right, Harry Flynn won. All right, just take the L, go to sleep. Now, some people have said that the WWE's current mentality is they're very careful about who they have multiple segments on. They don't want to have someone in more than one segment unless absolutely necessary. That's what allegedly they feel. I don't think that's. This is just another rumor.
Yeah, and if that's the case, I don't like that.
And the idea is why Zelina doesn't get to be in the women's division more is because she has to come out with Andrade, and what are they going to do? Put her in 2 segments? Now, personally, I missed that from the Attitude Era.
Yeah, I love that.
In multiple segments. I thought it tied the story together.
Right.
I thought it tied the cast together. And they said if they are going to have someone in multiple segments, it's got to be a big draw. Why waste it on Zelina? And again, that's just a rumor, but I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah.
She should be in the women's division. She
agree.
can wrestle.
She can work.
She can work better than Lana.
Yeah, 100%.
Not even a question.
Yeah.
She should be in there. And if she just comes out to be arm candy for Andrade, so be it. Like, I don't think it's a crime. And allegedly, that's also why they pulled Heyman from managing multiple wrestlers, because they didn't want to waste multiple segments on Heyman.
I don't like
that. Ridiculous. But again, that's just a rumor. For all we know, that's not even true.
And you know what? Look, Vince is hot and cold about stuff like that, so maybe in 2 weeks he'll change his mind. So.
Or in 2 weeks he won't be around.
Look, don't wish that upon the business.
Well, who knows? Maybe the XFL will succeed to new heights.
I'm watching this weekend.
Of course you are.
Why wouldn't I be? I'm a football fan. I don't care.
Because you should have learned your lesson 20 years ago.
That's just the team I picked, all right? Let's not get into that. And with the XFL thing, whatever, it's different. They're going to make it more. They're going to make it more streamlined and make it more appealing towards who they want to market towards, and that's real football fans. We'll see what happens. I'm not expecting it to be huge. I think he's going to lose a shit ton of money. But you know what? I'm still gonna watch it. It's football.
I know nothing about football, so it might be great. It might be like Mike actually liked the XFL. He said he
So did I.
He thought it was a good game. But
Whoa, base up. That is not fair. They've actually won a Super Bowl, unlike a lot of other people who haven't.
Now he's going after you.
It's all right. You think I haven't heard worse than that? I get that on a daily basis. I'm a Jets fan, Dave.
I think he has worse. He's just storing it up.
Base
up doesn't just do one and done.
Base up likes me. He doesn't like you.
He likes trolling.
Do you think that Charlotte should challenge Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Championship because Shayna Baszler is facing Becky at WrestleMania? Ben Espinosa, the way it's looking, and we talked about this earlier, it looks like Charlotte's going to challenge Rhea Ripley. And if that's the case, I'm for it. I hope she puts Rhea over. In a big way. Because it's WrestleMania. That's what she should do. She's now, and this is the pratfalls of being the anchor of a division for a very long time.
Harry Flynn.
Yeah, we've had this conversation. Me and
Harry. That's so weird. You're from Arizona. Why do you like the Patriots?
He just might like them because they were winning like other people do. But
did you ever see the episode where Homer finds out that Bart is a Patriot? They don't call it the Patriots, but
yeah, and yeah, he should have killed him actually.
Cowboys fan or being a Jets fan? Wow. I usually think I'm not a football fan. Even I get these jokes.
Yeah, you definitely.
And the people on my football episode, one of the football episodes, there were a couple of people who said really liked it. And they said if you get all of the jokes here, which is a very small audience of bizarre football people and wrestling people, they said if you actually get these references,
his dad was a Patriots fan. That makes sense.
Is your dad from the bad city?
That's a shame, Richard Lee, for Dave, not for everybody else.
He's married to Lana's. Hey, no, man. If you were married to Lana, good for you.
Oh, so Charlotte's making her announcement right now, so that's interesting. There you go,
right,
Rhea, baby.
Let's
good.
Oh, she said Rhea?
Well, Samurai Productions said that was the case. So.
Yeah, definitely let us know if that's for sure.
I hope that's the case. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, Bayley and Naomi.
Whoa. Base up, you're way off.
See? Oh. Yeah, he likes you, huh? Yes, no, he likes trolling.
He actually said he likes me more than you.
That's for right now. You'll see. You'll see.
He hasn't trolled me that much.
You'll see. No, don't lower your guard. That's what he wants.
Look. If I fall for it, that's fine. But I choose to believe that Base Up wouldn't do that to me.
You also don't spend as much time with him.
Exactly, and the time I spend is usually pretty solid. He doesn't usually.
For now, that's the beginning of the relationship. That's his move.
He was the first person to watch my video when I posted it. I very much appreciate it.
Yeah, he's gonna be all sweet. He's like, yeah, baby, Yeah, that's what he's doing. That's.
Oh, Rhea's on Raw too. That's great.
Cool. Yeah, a lot of people were saying they thought Charlotte was going to show up on NXT, and they feel that they missed opportunity. I don't 100%. Do you think they should have made the announcement on Raw or NXT?
On Raw.
But it doesn't make any sense. Why? Because isn't she a SmackDown wrestler? And isn't she?
No, Charlotte's on Raw.
She is? Since when?
Yeah. Charlotte's been on Raw since the
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Whoops.
Yeah. Think about who she's been feuding with. The Kabuki Warriors before that, who were both on Raw.
Oh, right.
Yeah, she's been on Raw.
The last draft was so unmonumental.
Yeah, it was
that
useless.
I have no way.
No.
The only thing I remember is that Randy Orton's on Raw because every time they have a draft, I predict Randy Orton's going to Raw. This time I didn't do anything, and of course that's when he went. And so that's the one thing I remember. So, but either way, for the NXT title, would it not have more impact on NXT?
It would, but it's
not have helped.
It's a bigger fan base on Raw. But now, if Charlotte starts showing, it says I'm going to be on NXT on Wednesday. Now that's a coup. Because now you get the casual Raw viewers to come over to NXT. It's a good way to advertise. Because you're not going to get the NXT people are going to stay there. They're going to be that 700,000 people are going to be there. They're not going anywhere.
No, Arthur Pryor, I did not. Do you have any idea how many people were happy about that live Honest promo? How many people were excited and thought it was good and they said it was worth the price of admission? Don't you see how many people enjoyed it? Can't you just take solace in how many people were made happy as a result? They're never some people, you know?
I know.
That's why Justina will have nothing to do with you, because you're selfish. You're always thinking about yourself. Could we get a NXT WWE trade Charlotte? I really don't. I mean, it could happen, but I really don't think Charlotte being on that brand benefits anybody. I don't think it benefits her, and I don't think it benefits NXT because it's really going to hurt the women's division by putting her there.
I agree, because it's just going to because now look,
it's going to detract. It's going to siphon away attention,
and she now becomes the face of NXT.
Right. And
it's not Adam Cole anymore. It's what I mean. It's going to be Charlotte.
And even if what happens the way it's supposed to, even if Rhea Ripley does defeat Charlotte at WrestleMania, which should happen, if Charlotte goes to NXT, sooner or later,
Charlotte's winning that title.
You have to give it to her. There's no way you leave her there.
Yeah.
And as soon as she wins it, it derails the whole thing.
Right.
I mean, yeah, you could just never give it to her. You could. And then move her right back to Raw or SmackDown or whatever. But the longer there, it's an inevitability. It's almost ridiculous if you don't give it to her.
Right, Base Up, you're 100% right. It hurts Charlotte and it hurts the division.
Right. There's nothing good that comes of it.
Yeah.
So, any thoughts on Greta Thunberg? Not in particular.
She seems smart, smarter than me at 16, and I'm 34 and dumb as a box of rocks at times. So
I'm still waiting on the Seth Honest promo. I might have to look into that. That's not too bad. All it does is, Arthur said, should thank Dave on the Honest Road. Yeah, it wasn't even that bad. I wasn't even that harsh. And I made it up on the spot. No appreciation for the work. And Michael Obama says, you are smarter.
Well, I appreciate that.
Trade to NXT, Seth, Becky, Charlotte, Bayley, Ricochet, Murphy, and Shorty, Chad Gable.
His name is Shorty G.
No, it is not.
Yes, it is.
Not Seth, not Becky, not Charlotte.
No.
Bayley, maybe.
I don't even think so.
It's tough. Ricochet, maybe. Buddy Murphy, fine. And Chad Gable, yes. Bayley.
Buddy Murphy, I think him going back to NXT is a backstep for him. It's a backpedal.
I don't think anymore. But Bayley, I think if she does go back, she has to be the hugger again.
Yeah, she's got to be a face. Yeah, that's got to be the way she reestablishes the babyface thing.
Yeah. If she goes back as current Bayley, no thanks. But if she goes back, has to be the hugger.
I love how we
Harry Flynn is smarter.
A lot of wrestling fans begged for Bayley to become a heel for years, and now.
And I didn't. I was so thoroughly against it.
So, me too.
And I said the only way I want her heel is if she just tried to be a heel and failed at it. You know, I said like what I want her to do is say no hug for you. Okay, just a quick one, and and just bro hug it real fast and then just leave. That was the angle I pitched for Bayley forever. And then all the waving inflatable tube men come up with their arms crossed and mad faces.
I like that.
Like, I just wanted that, like, her to try to be bad and just fail at it miserably. And you don't even need to put her in title picture. Just keep doing goofy stuff like that and just watch her get over by accident. That was me the easiest solution to it. It would have been a lot of fun. It would have been, it would have been hysterical. And I believe Bayley has the charisma to pull it off.
Yeah.
Dave, who would you book Okada in AEW?
How?
Oh, how? Sorry. How would you book Okada in AEW?
Give him the belt and let him beat everybody.
You have got to stick him in the program with Kenny Omega sooner or later. That's another inevitability. But
And he should beat everybody on the way there.
him and Jericho is definitely something you got to do.
I would love to see that.
I wouldn't want to give him the belt right away. I would.
No, I think that you do.
You build to it.
Yeah,
all out or all in or whatever. The next one.
I'd say his first program, you want to put him in. Like I think that whoever is going to be the leader of the Dark Order is going to be a main player in AEW. I don't know who it's going to be. A lot of people are saying it might be Matt Hardy.
Luke Harper.
It could be Brody Lee too. But whoever that is, that's the first guy that
yeah, because
he goes after. You put him over the biggest heel in the company that doesn't have a belt.
Okay, I got it. This is
Jack Swagger actually is a good way to start him off too.
This is kind of how I would do it. I would get Okada start off in matches and pretend like he's not with AEW, but let him win a lot. And then you build this up until he gets to their big. Like I think All Out is going to be their Mania.
Yeah, I think.
I wish they called it All In.
No, I think they can go back. Oh yeah, I guess they really can't. Well, they can still use All In. They own it. They should just wait. They'll just keep going with it.
Whatever the case, you hold off onto it. But meanwhile, Okada builds up wins. And then where's his title shot? He never gets one. And it's like, well, you weren't officially with the company. We've been having you outside of it, so you're not really getting there. But meanwhile, he has more than enough wins to qualify him for a world title shot. And then you make the announcement a little closer to All Out, where he's finally signing over and then has to go through all the wins again. And it's close. And then Jericho starts smelling the blood and water and starts screwing him out of wins. But he manages to eventually get there enough to get the number one contendership spot and then go against Jericho and take it down and All Out. And here's one thing that they might do in this time. Again, they're brand spanking new.
Yeah.
But I do expect them to do more manipulation of the win-loss records. Like when someone's close.
They've reset them already.
But what I'm saying is like a heel champion is smelling some guys close and he wants no part of them. He starts screwing them out of wins or trying to get there. Or people strategically working it out where this guy is the number one. This guy you want to see as the number one contender, but he's one win short. And then this other guy is the number one contender technically, but then he loses and it actually pushes the guy you want up, or vice versa, or like someone's loss actually costs them the spot instead of somebody else's win.
Right. I think that's the stories they're gonna have to tell if they want to make this. They want to make wins and losses count,
and I think
they really have to make wins and losses count.
And I think they'll get there. I kind of feel they should be doing this to lead with, and I know you're gonna say that seems like you're blowing the wad a little early.
No, not at all.
Because you need to show why AEW is different. You need to see why this matters.
Exactly.
So it's like with Edge and the first cash in of the Money in the Bank, clever and using it cleverly. I thought was shooting a load a little quick because unfortunately that meant every cash in had to live up to that, and a lot of them did it.
Right, and then it became different when Rob Van Dam cashed in and said, "Oh, we're gonna have a match at my pay-per-view,"
and that worked fine. But then after that, like when Braun said, "I'm just cashing it in at Crown Jewel," or whatever, your Super Show or whatever it was. I don't remember what that one was called.
Or when
it didn't work. Like you can't go back anymore.
Right. Or when Damian Sandow did it and had a full-on match.
Yeah, it just doesn't work. You have got because of Edge setting the bar so high, everyone had to follow suit. But this kind of thing, I think you need to do that because you're trying to establish how the rules work. So we need to do this live. Oh, Michael Obama, thanks for being here. By the way, I'm a man. We figured. But thanks for being here. Glad you were here. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I want Bobby to win so he can face Brock.
Here's the thing. A lot of people, Degenerate asked something earlier about Lashley, like why isn't he? Why was he stuck in the storyline? He basically he deserves more thing. TNA Lashley was really good. I don't think he's opened up as well in WWE. And it's not just the mic thing. It's also his gear. We saw Lashley in TNA. He had gold gear. He had red gear. Like, he was different. He broke out of the box.
He's also older.
He went back to WWE and went back to the same character he was in WWE and then turned heel. And, the thing is that I just don't think Lashley's ever had the mic skills to carry. That's why they put him with MVP in TNA.
Agreed. And that's something I wish we got again.
I think with MVP coming back, I think he said he wants.
Already.
Well, I know. I know he said he had his last match, but I mean, why not just keep him on the road as Lashley's mouthpiece?
That's what I'm saying. Like I
And
wish
that's the
they
thing.
were together.
I hate that the WWE just doesn't do that anymore. Let these older guys who run their course, they can still talk, and you can still get, they can still bump, they can still take moves.
I don't think
Let
that's
them be managers.
See, I don't think that's WWE issues. I think it's more MVPs than anything else. I think this
Maybe,
is MVP
maybe.
decision.
Well, MVP did say he's on Corey Graves' podcast. He did an interview,
yeah.
and he did say that he's not done yet, but he's going to retire very soon, and he wants to take a backstage role somewhere.
And I also don't think he wanted to keep up with the WWE schedule.
Oh, I agree.
So and then going with Leo Rush, and they ended it for no reason.
They ended because Leo Rush was being immature. Okay, so he wore white one night, Harry Flynn, but that's it. Like, for the most part, he's just wearing his black trunks. Like,
and I'm not the biggest Bobby Lashley fan, but I understand that he does have a place. And yeah, the Brock match is something.
It's something that everybody wants to see. But here's the thing:
even though they did do it, a lot of people forget about this. Batista and Brock did go at it. It was just in a very anticlimactic match. I kind of wish they always built that bigger. Like they paid that off on a big.
When did they? I don't think
it was a very.
I know they fought in the Royal Rumble. Yeah. I know that.
Yeah.
And other than that, I don't remember them ever being in. They were on separate brands, I think, almost exclusively.
That was it.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, they had that. I thought you were talking about I thought you were talking they actually had a one-on-one match. I was gonna say I don't remember that at all.
Not that I know of.
Yeah, no, they touched in the Royal Rumble and that was it.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, and that was when Batista was like. I think that might have been pre-evolution Batista.
If you don't point it out, though, they're like, well, actually, you didn't realize that they did go at it.
I know. Yeah, you're right. I think that might have even been like pre-evolution.
Yeah, you just have to mention this. Like people say, actually, Stone Cold Steve Austin and Hulk Hogan did wrestle each other. Shut up. No, they didn't.
No, they didn't.
Yeah. And Sting and the Undertaker, that doesn't count because that wasn't the Undertaker. That was Mean Mark, and that was Surfer Sting, and it was at a house show that you can't watch. That doesn't count.
Right. Brock Batista fought in OVW. I'm sure they did.
Yeah, also doesn't count. That's not what we're talking about either.
Yeah, doesn't count.
Yeah, I'm talking about big stage because, like, to me, that was. I mean, yeah, Brock leaving when he left didn't help. But to me, you could have made that a main event. Batista
100%. 100%.
That could have been a WrestleMania main event. It really could have been.
Well, actually, somebody
from the past who you think would fit in the modern era in their prime.
Smart Killer brought up the point that Batista and Brock could have gone and had a match if the Yes movement didn't happen in 2014 too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not saying I wanted it.
Right.
That's not
right.
But that's one. But that's on the list of Brock matches and everything. And it's one of my big complaints about Brock is that he doesn't have a lot. He doesn't show up a lot. But when he does, how many times have we seen him wrestle the same people over and over again?
Yeah, it's true.
I was relieved when Great Balls of Fire and all that stupid pay-per-view name, terrible name.
When he went after Samoa Joe, I mean,
because it was different.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, at least we're getting then Braun Strowman was different, stopped being different. Finn Balor, I'm like, at least we're getting some variety here from Brock.
When he wrestled,
but then it was
Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, but
like it was different.
But then AJ Styles. But when we was just seeing them wrestle Undertaker, Goldberg, it's like
Seth, Roman.
Yeah. I just
Braun.
Yeah, it's like stop.
Yeah.
And it's one thing if he had a full-time schedule when I was seeing these matches, but he doesn't. So it's like, why do you use him so?
I know. As a matter of fact, nobody brings this up. I don't think Batista and Lashley really ever had a program. And that's a match that you think would have been a no-brainer. At least on Lashley's ascent. When Batista turned heel.
Oh, Ron Hotham says, pick one guy from the past that you think would work today.
Owen Hart.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say Chris Benoit, but, whatever.
I mean,
because he would work. He's 5'9", he wrestles, doesn't really talk all that much.
Yeah, he's perfect. Like, he'd be like Kenny Omega in AEW.
Yeah, I know we can't,
I don't care. This is your stream.
He who shall not be. Well, that's actually one of my other favorite gags is when you keep referring to Chris Benoit as Voldemort.
No, I actually like the Stevie Richards one myself.
Oh, okay.
Because he got replaced. For some reason, everybody uses Stevie Richards. They're like, they replaced him in the video game. No, he actually replaced the Big Show in No Mercy.
Yeah.
But for some reason, Stevie Richards became like the guy that somehow replaces everybody, and I'm okay with that.
Well, I've seen like the Crispin Wah.
Yes.
That gag,
Yeah.
Those workarounds has always made me laugh. There was one picture someone took, like this was after Hogan, the tape got revealed, where they showed Chris Benoit and Hulk Hogan standing in the ring together with the referee, and then the caption said, "Why is the referee standing in an empty ring?"
Oh, that's good. That's good. Would work with John Cena too.
Oh yeah, true. Did you see the Funko Pop toy of John Cena? It's clear.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, like I hate those Funko Pop things. I mean, I shouldn't say I hate them. I just don't get it.
That's fair.
But that cracked me up. I was like, that's good.
What ruthless aggression guy should have been a champion or could have been something right now? Shelton Benjamin. I don't have the mic skills, but that's the guy that if you would have put a mouthpiece on, could have been a major guy.
I love Shelton Benjamin, but he is or was a little botchy.
A little bit.
I don't 100% trust him.
Okay.
In that, but I love Shelton Benjamin. I would have pushed him anyway because I just don't care. But
Agreed.
I mean, safety for safety's sake, I would probably change my tune real quick. This is what would happen if I was the booker.
Kennedy's a good example, actually, Harry Flynn. That's a great
Kennedy
answer.
Too. Yeah, that's my lead answer right now. That you said
yeah. The guy beat 7 world champions and never got the world title push.
I mean, and he had more charisma than anybody on the roster at the time.
Oh yeah, he was way more over too.
Yeah, because this is probably what would have happened with Shelton. I would have stuck him, pushed him to the moon, put him in the main event, and said, "I don't care, I'm doing this anyway." Then he would hurt another main event talent. Then I would get pissed, and then I would change my mind. That's probably what would happen if I were booked.
That's fair. Benoit should be acknowledged as a wrestler. His real life decisions are not a part of kayfabe.
Right.
And that's Kate Howard.
I agree.
Recently Bruce Pritchard. He dropped his last podcast. He talked about the Radicals, and somebody asked the question of, should that be what Vince did? And Bruce said, yeah, because in reality, his real life stuff outweighs it. But by the same point, they also didn't take away anything he did in wrestling. They don't mention it, but they still say only 2 people have won the Royal Rumble from the number 1 spot, and one of them was Shawn Michaels. They just don't mention that it was Benoit.
Talking,
yeah, and that's the thing. They've never taken any of his accomplishments away.
I understand that it's technically different, but it's not like the NFL stopped acknowledging
O.J. Simpson. Yeah, absolutely.
They bring up that he won the Heisman. They bring up his accomplishments. Now, granted, he was acquitted. There's a significant difference here.
Yes, absolutely. And Benoit couldn't be acquitted because he was dead. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Carlito's a great answer, too, actually.
I like Carlito. Did he get his due? No, but not. He was not a main eventer. I couldn't put him up there. Look, I'm sorry.
I think Kennedy might be the better answer, but I like Carlito, though.
I like him, too, but I'm sorry. I hate to tell you this. He ain't his dad.
Fair enough.
Was he more charismatic than his dad? Did he have better character work? Absolutely.
Was he a better wrestler, too?
No.
Yes, he was. He was a much better
worker. Than his father
worker.
in his prime? Absolutely not. Carlos Colon? Absolutely not.
He was mostly a brawler.
Carlos Colon's ring placement was second. Was one of the more superior ones there is. Carlos Colon was also a trailblazer in so many different ways.
Oh no, I'm not disagreeing that, but that's not ring work.
Overall, I'm looking at the overall picture.
But you just said ring work. You specifically said ring work.
Oh well, yeah, no. As a ring work, I think he's okay. What do you want to qualify Carlito as? Where do you want to say he excels better than his dad?
I think he's better on the mic.
No, yeah, but in the ring work, where are you giving him the edge?
He's a better flyer. I think he's also better technically.
I don't think he's better technically. I don't think he's better as a mat on the ground. Does he do as many complicated? Does he do more complicated moves than his father? Yeah, but I don't think he chains better than his dad. I think his dad's a better grappler, just in the pure grapple sense.
Maybe you might be right.
High flyer, I'll give you.
Yeah,
high flyer, yeah. Okay, fine. He was in a Royal Rumble match. Yes, that's true. A lot of people forget about that.
He was in 1996.
Yeah, that era of WWE was interesting. You look back at those Rumbles, and it's like half the people are like, "Who are they?"
The funniest thing is in that Rumble, Gorilla Monsoon refers to him as, "Look at this youngster."
Yeah, yes, he does.
Yeah, and I love that. I think it's this fiery youngster, Carlos Colon. He's 47, Gorilla.
My favorite was when. It was a couple years ago.
Ooh, Sean O'Hare's a good one. I really wish they would have ran with that more.
Yes, no answer.
Sean O'Hare's a
That's
really
not fair.
good one.
You throw me a natural born thriller, that will always be my answer.
Yeah.
So
I'll take that.
For me, it's complicated. Well, it's not complicated, but it's for me one of the things I look at for.
You were gonna bring up something else. You said something was great. We were talking about the Gorilla Monsoon.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. During the Cruiserweight Classic.
93. You're right, Harry. I'm sorry. I said 96, and I knew it was wrong when I said it too. I was like, somebody's going to correct me.
During the Cruiserweight Classic, they were calling Brian Kendrick the seasoned veteran. This is his last desperate attempt at 37. And meanwhile, Finn Balor, who was just 2 years younger than him, was this young up-and-coming plucky kid.
I know.
It was the weirdest thing.
I know. I love that. I love those comparisons. I love the Batista when he debuted. They're like, this fiery youngster. Batista's older than 95% of the roster. What are you talking about, youngster?
Well, they were still lying about his age at the time.
Fair.
Do you think Prime Marty Jannetty would be good today? I think he'd be pretty good today.
I think that Prime Marty Jannetty would have been good when he was, if he just would have stopped doing drugs.
Hey, well, one of them didn't have to stop, and he did fine. So who knows?
Yeah, one of them was able to be coherent and came to work and did good enough work to
Let's not make it sound like he had perfect attendance.
Okay? Oh, I'm not saying he was.
All right, easy,
but Marty was way worse.
That doesn't matter. That's not my point.
It does matter.
Okay, but let's also throw Batista.
The rookie when he was being older than Triple H.
Well, you know, and plus also on top of that, DDP was
sure. Too. I don't.
Just gonna leave that one. I don't think well, let it go.
I don't agree.
I don't agree. I think WWE did China.
I think WWE did more for China than anybody else in the world.
Let's not forget they got the Intercontinental Championship.
You want to talk about Tessa Blanchard and because she won a world title? China was the first person to win a male title.
Right.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, so let's not pretend like that's not true. I'm sorry. Going back to the Andy Kaufman, that's what I wanted to talk about. So one great thing I admire about Andy Kaufman, do you think he would have gotten nuclear? I'm sorry, Richard Lee, I believe, brought that up. Would he get nuclear level heat right now? My answer is if he wanted to.
Yeah.
Andy Kaufman's such a weird one for me because it's funny. It's like there's a lot of things that I watch that don't cause me to laugh, but I appreciate the logic behind it and the attempt. So like he's a very weird case for me.
I think
I very rarely laugh at anything he does, but every time I hear about something, I'm like, "That's genius."
Yeah, that's the thing.
I like nod my head at it.
He was so ahead of his time.
But even now, so I don't know what to react to it. So Andy Kaufman, and as we have seen on the episode where I had one of the episodes I had my friends from Capital on, Matt Ryan has gone out and said that he legitimately says Andy Kaufman is one of his favorite wrestlers of all time, and he does not feel bad about that. He thinks that's perfectly adequate.
I'd say that's
right?
fair.
The guy got more. Someone that people say,
right? But he got more heat than most other guys could get,
and kept kayfabe like a mother.
Yeah, he did.
I'm sorry, it's a work. I'm sorry if you don't believe that. All right, the Jerry Lawler thing was a work. I'm sorry.
How would the great mood of Flair in the 90s in WWF?
Terrible.
Terrible, yeah.
It's like,
you want to say, there's my answer right there. You want a guy from in his prime that would be great right now? The Great Muta would be amazing.
In WWE, absolutely not.
No, he didn't say WWE. He just said in general.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, imagine...
And yeah, Shawn Michaels does get people fired.
Kaufman was a troll before the term existed.
Yeah, he was.
Yes, he was.
You know,
well ahead of his time.
And I'm not even kidding. I think there's when I said the whole thing is a work, I meant the thing with Lawler. That's a work. Sorry. Okay.
Oops.
Yeah.
You weren't supposed to say that.
I know some people swear up and down that it's not. I don't care. It's a work. Now, and I'm not saying that it is or one way or not, but I would not be surprised if Andy was around today.
Why do you eat ham so often?
What?
Why do you eat ham so often?
Oh, that stands for. Okay, yeah, all right.
I'm just being a dick. I'm sorry.
Okay. Ken Shamrock is in WWE now. Is he? Wait, is he?
No, I think he's saying Shamrock would excel right now. I think he would.
Here's the weird thing, Kate Howard. When in my honest promo episode about Big Cass, I called them the modern day reboot of Test. I thought that was funny, and I had a lot of people in the comments lose their minds.
Yes,
saying how dare you say that?
And I agree.
And for those of you who remember, I can't believe there's so many testicles out there.
I'm one.
What am I missing here?
Again, Tyrell hasn't said one thing I've agreed with this entire time except for right now.
What am I missing?
Underrated.
I don't dislike him. I'm just saying, wasn't he apt for where he was?
I think he had a lot more potential. I think he was good in the ring.
Well, thank Triple H for that one.
I think he had decent.
I'm saying he wasn't.
Yeah, I think he had decent.
John Cena didn't help. John Cena buried him on promo when he was new.
Oh, the whole bucktooth
the horse thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that did not help his
It
case.
really didn't. And that's the thing. Tess.
I'm not against Tess. I'm not saying I dislike him. I'm just Tess was okay. That's where I'm at.
Tess for me is the epitome of during the Attitude Era. A stop and start like 50-50, push then like.
I thought he got a bigger push than he was supposed to.
And
I also found
Vince Russo wanted him in DX.
Yeah.
He was supposed to get a bigger push.
Yeah. Here's the thing. That using Vince Russo doesn't count as an argument for me.
I'm just saying he was supposed to get a bigger push.
He also wanted Jeff Jarrett in the main event,
he got Jeff Jarrett in the main event
of WWF.
Well,
and clearly he's wrong about things.
Well, Austin nixed that.
I'm not a hater, okay? I'm not saying that. I just think the Stephanie McMahon angle was a huge push for him.
It was.
And I think unfortunately, it took a swerve when Stephanie turning heel was kind of how it had to happen. I'm not going to pretend like
sure,
but
I'm not going to deny that.
it took all the momentum out. Like, because Tess was supposed to really get Triple H.
Yeah.
Like, that's where Triple H was supposed to get his momentum. But there's no way that could happen with Stephanie without Stephanie turning heel. Stephanie had to align with Triple H. It had to go down this way. And unfortunately, you get the person who gets the short end of the stick on this was Tess.
Yeah, it really was.
Because it's just the inevitability of how things happen.
Yeah.
Because there's certain times, I've said it before, an episode of Chekhov's Gun episode, Wednesday's episode is going to talk about Chekhov's Gun again, briefly. But it's like there's a satisfying aspect to it. You have got to give, there's certain things that are plain as day, and you have to deliver on this thing. And if you don't, then there's missed opportunities. It's been something we've been talking about in Livestream again. There are certain inevitabilities that if you present them in the wrestling world context, you have got to follow through on it because it's built in and the audience is requiring it.
Right.
Getting tired?
Yeah.
Ready to roll it up?
Yeah, it's been a long day.
All right. Well, thank you for all the super chats as always, guys. Thank you. Thank you to everybody. I always feel, I want to say your name specifically, but I'm always afraid I'm going to miss out on somebody. So Inigo Montoya and John Stallman, and I apologize if I missed anybody.
I think you got, I think it was two.
I believe so. Yeah, John Stallman twice. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
And for everybody who has been nice enough to plug it, I'll throw myself another plug again. The Slam Sessions Network on YouTube and Facebook.com/the Slam Sessions Podcast Network. I'm trying to get more active on Facebook, so if you guys got Facebook, please join up and start commenting on stuff. Stir some stuff up. I know you guys like to do that.
All right. Thanks so much for watching, and thanks again for the super chats. Thank you for your generosity. Seriously. Thank you. Especially in these YouTube times. Anyway, thanks again, and as always, Dave knows.